Should we put none of the above? Should D be none of the above or no?
We could just put D, other. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Or D could be no.
And, they played well last night. They played hard last night.
They played hard.
They're not good.
Right. That's...
I don't know about you, but I'm watching that fourth quarter waiting for Tua to throw a pick. And I'm not joking. I'm like, when's the mistake coming? And he did it, and I went, well, there it is.
He threw to the wrong guy.
Well, he wasn't looking at anybody else.
No, I know. I got to admit, the game bored me a little bit. No big plays. And Dolphins, Josh Allen only attempted one pass beyond 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Tua's half his pass attempts were at or behind the line. And I don't know.
And he, you know what? Maybe he was accurate, but the one time, and I don't know if he would have hit Hill, but he can't throw it far enough for Tyreek Hill. Every long ball is underthrown.
Feeney, it wouldn't surprise me if the Gators-Canes game is similar to the Dolphins-Bills game.
Yes, I agree with that.
Maybe for you, Brad.
I went none of the above for what it's worth. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Hope you've had a very good week. We will end it in style. Lee Sterling, Pat Kirwan, talking more also about the Canes and the Gators. We'll make our picks. We'll have plenty of fun. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
Good, David. Good morning to you. Obviously, Miami lost, not as badly as both of us predicted.
Right.
They played hard.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like they were engaged and cared. But inevitably,
nice. They're getting paid.
The guy that we bailed on a couple of weeks ago let them down again. That's all there is to it. They needed a drive. They had an opportunity to tie the game. They were driving, and then Tua threw the pick. And that was the game. It was that simple.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the Dolphins' inability to get pressure, and even they blitzed a decent amount too, and that's very surprising to me defensively. But hey, offensively, I mean, there was, for Mike McDaniel, that was almost all out running the football. I mean, that's how little the Dolphins have run the ball in recent years. That 25 rushing attempts by the Dolphins last night seemed like, oh my goodness, he's really committed to the run. And guess what? It was effective.
By the way, that front seven that we like so much really couldn't stop the run either.
No. Oh, no. Cook's earning his money. He held out, and he's showing anybody who was like, we shouldn't pay him. No, that's money well spent.
Absolutely.
No,
absolutely. Like you pointed out yesterday, obviously, Josh Allen's their best player on offense. There's no one would ever argue that with you. But then it's Cook.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and I don't think that's close either.
No. There's a clear one, and there's a clear two.
Yep. And that's a nice combination to have to try to win a championship. A great quarterback and what looks to be a really, really good running back.
Yeah, my top 5 in the league, I think.
Yeah. At this moment, hard to argue it, David.
Yeah.
And Miami stubbed their toe twice. I mean, they played a good game last night. It's hard to poke a lot of holes into the way they played, but a terrible penalty. Terrible penalty.
Right. 2 big mistakes. That's the difference of the game. Two big mistakes. Running into the kicker, and then obviously the pick. And when you're the inferior team, and if you want to throw in on the road, although I got to be honest, could the Dolphins play in better conditions in Buffalo than they played in last night? Please. You take that every week for the next 10 years.
100%.
But, yeah, okay. I mean, are we supposed to – this is a professional team. Are we supposed to give them credit because they played hard?
No.
Because they were, seemingly they're still committed?
No. But when there were a couple of opportunities in the game, Miami comes down and scores, Buffalo matches, Buffalo gets the lead. You start wondering at this point, at least I did, David, and maybe you didn't. And I know you say they're professionals and they try. At what point are the Dolphins just going to lay down, if you will? And they never did.
Well, thank goodness it's week 3.
Well, hey, we've had a team meeting. We've had a quarterback praise the other quarterback so much before the game that he should go directly to Canton and not skip the waiting period. In fact, the way Tua was talking, Josh Allen should be inducted into the Hall of Fame while he's still playing. So whether that's honesty or ignorance, I don't know which. But we talk about the Bucs all the time and how hard they play for Todd Bowles.
Mm-hmm.
Miami played hard last night.
Yeah, they've
That's
2 out of 3
in a row that they've played hard. They did not play hard against Indianapolis. That was an effort.
Yeah, that was alarming. So,
one of the things though that a lot of our listeners have come at us at over the years, they're right about. Tua can't throw the ball far enough for Tyreek Hill. He cannot throw the ball to him in stride. Tyreek Hill has to wait for the ball. And I don't think they went deep except for maybe twice. But the play over the middle, I don't know if he would have caught that if it was thrown far enough. But it's almost as if he has to defend it because Tua can't throw the ball far enough for him. And that wasn't a problem on Saturdays. And it's not like he didn't have good receivers on Saturday. Or fast receivers on Saturday.
Right. He had 4 first-round picks as receivers on Saturday. And you're right. He threw a terrific deep ball.
You saw it many times live in person.
But it almost seems as if his ball is getting shorter every year. So whether it is or not, it seems as if it is.
And the other thing that Tua did last night that I've heard people say he cannot do is that when the play goes awry, it's scripted, Tua's good. Quick out, quick hits. He's good at that. When the play's not there, Tua can't improvise. And a few times last night, he scrambled, got a first down with his legs, scrambled, made a throw. I'd not seen a lot of that in a while. But he does not have And I don't know. I thought he did. Is it the injuries that have happened to him in his career? Because he can't throw the ball with the zip that other NFL quarterbacks throw it with. And I'm not even talking about Josh. I'm not talking about elite arms. I'm talking about an average NFL arm. He doesn't seem to have that. And we never thought that was a problem, David.
No. In fact, it wasn't earlier in his career. It was not a knock coming out of college. It was not a knock early in his career. But Mark, he does not seem to be the guy that he was a couple years ago. He doesn't seem to be able to throw the ball as well with as much on it. And maybe it is the injuries. Maybe, who knows? Between concussions and other injuries, maybe we asked Chris Perkins yesterday, Mark, have we seen the best of Tua? And he said, yeah, I think we have. Well, that's not good because he should be entering his early prime right now. I mean, help me out. This is year 6, right? He was drafted in 2020. Burrow 1, Tua 5, Herbert 6. I mean, he's 27 years old. The oldest he could be is 28. I mean, this has got to be go time. And instead, it looks as if for the Dolphins, whoever is running the regime down the road, it's going to be go time, all right. It's going to be we need to go and find Tua's replacement time.
No doubt. And we have spent a lot of time, and I don't just mean you and I, people that discuss this sport going, well, they're locked into this contract. They have to keep him. Sean Payton in Denver proved that cutting the cord and taking the big hit is not the worst idea in the world. And if I'm the new regime in Miami, I'm cutting ties with Tua. I'm done. It's over. They have to figure out what's next and when is next. Now, Chris Perkins suggested yesterday that if the game went really badly, would McDaniel survive the day, the night, the weekend? Did they play well enough to keep him? Sure, I guess. But it's dead man walking. We all know that. And it should be everybody. It's time to start over. And Stephen Ross has never really had a full reset, David. It's always been a change on the fly type organization. They need a reset.
Well, I would argue that. I mean, in the last 20 years, the Dolphins have had 2 big resets. One was Parcells coming off a 1-15. And remember, they were tanking for Tua. That was a reset under Greer and Flores. So, no, I think, Mark, this is the culmination of what it was that Greer was put in charge of. Here, I'm going to give you the ball. Run with it. And he said, okay, I'm going to tear it down, and we're going to get a quarterback out of the 2020 draft because there's going to be quarterbacks there. Okay. And so they got it. They won 10 games with Flores. They didn't like him. They fired him. They brought in McDaniel. They were better. They won more games. They made it to January, but they couldn't go any further. And now it seems as if McDaniel doesn't have a second act, and the offense now looks, I don't know. I don't know if Tua's broken, if Tua's damaged and Tua's done, or if that offense now and McDaniel and it's done with him. Because they're stuck with him for another couple of years, Mark. I mean, they can't get out of this for 2 more years. I mean, this is 50 plus. And remember, again, this is year 1 of 50 plus.
They couldn't get rid of Russ in Denver, and they did. You can get rid, David, you can and take the hit. You can.
Okay. They can next year. He's got to be their quarterback next year. I'll look up how much it is, but this is year one of the $50+ million extension. I mean, there's a lot of guaranteed money that just started. They got the Jets and the Panthers next. I mean, and they'll have 10 days to be ready for the Jets at home. They got 2 weeks. If they're 2-3, okay. We'll see if they have life. Anything short of 2-3, oh yeah. This baby over.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Oh, what the hell? Are the Jags going to jag? I mean, that's really the question. I mean, I have them written down. I don't know what to do. I'm struggling. I did put the Gators and Canes with the spread as another poll question for the record.
Oh, who you got?
Yeah.
Did you throw in the spread or just straight up?
With the spread, yes. No, come on now.
Oh, just...
Jameis Winston to be inducted into the FSU Hall of Fame.
Don't know how he can't be.
I'm not.
Here's a question. Do you induct Jimbo?
They won't.
Major Florida State again. 1 year natty.
I'm just saying they won't.
I know. It ended badly, and he did quit on him. He did. He didn't officially quit. He just stopped working while getting paid.
I mean, they are so wanting a storm down here. I don't care what they say. I'm just on X, the paper. It's the same paper. It's the same post. See spaghetti models for Tropical Storm Gabriel. That thing is not coming with 1,200 miles of land.
Right.
I mean, please, can I talk about a storm? Please.
Haven't we been hit with enough hurricanes? I mean, I think.
I mean, shouldn't the story be Tropical Gabriel moves away from land? Great news for Florida. Wow. I'm just going to stop now.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. All right, I just want to give you the numbers. There's more good news, Mark, than bad if you're a Doll fan and you're wanting to just move on from everything you got here. The GM, the coach, and the quarterback. Unlike most of the quarterbacks who, when they get their $50+ million deal, it's a 5-year deal. I'll give Greer credit in this sense. They only gave Tua a 4-year extension. Now, this is year 1 of it, though. And we're talking like 53 a year on average. But Mark, they're stuck with him this year, obviously. And they are stuck with him next year because the dead cap hit is $99.2 million.
That seems like a tough number to get away from.
Even the Broncos go, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, theirs was like 70, right?
I thought it was 80, and I thought it was like 50 1 year, 30 the next.
Okay.
But Mark, this is so much money, even Texas A&M has paused. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong, they'll still go through with it. But even Texas A&M is like, really? Wow, that's a lot of money. But Mark, if you want to move on from Tua after the 2026 season, it's a $32 million dead cap hit in 27. Now it's also 18 and change in 28, and it'll be 5 million in 29. You know, they gotta love how these contracts are structured and what have you. So ultimately, you're still going to have about 55 million in dead cap money, but it's going to go 32, 18, and 5.
Okay. So next year, you're telling, what would next year's number be in dead cap money if they cut him?
99.2. They're not cutting him. So it'll be a third of the cap. They're not cutting him. They have no one to replace him with either. Okay. They won't. And let's just say they're awful this year and they get their hands on somebody and they think he's the quarterback of the future. You still don't cut Tua. You let Tua take the beating. All right. And then you work the guy in. You know, you do what the Giants are doing. You know, Tua's final year is the Russell Wilson year. So you're stuck with Tua for this year and next. You can move on from him. By the way, he's 27. You know, that's the other thing. Is this a poll question? Maybe not now. Maybe later on in the year. I mean, Sam Darnold has had a resurgence. Baker Mayfield has had a resurgence. We all have the storylines of quarterbacks who have gone up and down and up again. Hell, Kurt Warner had seemingly 2 resurgence. I mean, here's one thing, you know, what do I know about playing quarterback? I do think that Tua, between his injuries and the fact that offensive line, I think, scares the out of him. I don't think he trusts it. I don't think he's trusted it for a while. I don't think he trusted it last year. I don't think he trusts it this year. Even though, he's had, I think, 2 of the 3 games where he hasn't gotten sacked. I just don't think he trusts it. Okay. And that's why he gets rid of the ball so I mean, half his passes last night, Mark, were at or behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, that screams we can't block them.
Nothing you're saying is inaccurate. And you're more than likely right. With that big of a hit, they can't cut him. I get it. Would it be any different after the June 1 days, or is that the number? I'm not going to make you look it up. We'll get, Pat may have that later in the show. All right. So they're stuck with Tua for next year. And I do agree with you. If they draft whoever their quarterback of the future is, you can let Tua play the first handful of games until you want to bring your quarterback on board. That's fine. But I feel sorry for Dolphin fan right now. I
do too.
There's nothing like being 3 games into a season and know your season is done.
Well, but also you have no hope with this group in the future. Like, it's one thing to be 0-3, but think, I don't know, I think we got some good young players here. Yeah, we're going to take our lumps this year, but let's see what we look like in the second half of the season. Like, you tell me, did a Lions fan, Dan Campbell's first year didn't go well, and year 2 started out 1-6, but the Lions kept saying, we're close. I'm telling you, I'm curious, did the Lions fan think they were close? Were they buying it, or were they going, oh man, this is another disaster?
I don't know that for a fact. I would say obviously by the middle end of year 2, they were like, ooh, look what's going on here. I don't know if they were thinking that at 1-6. I don't. My guess is they were not, because they'd been through it so much and they have been bad forever.
Right. And, they were being sold a bill of goods with the regime before that. Now, Caldwell, as we talked about, he produced 3 9-win seasons or an 11-win and 2 9s in 4 years. And, of course, they got rid of him because, it's kind of like Clemson right now giving Dabo all this grief. I mean, somebody does need to sit down and truly – I think it's Dabo. I do. I think Dabo next Tuesday, should sit down and just read it and go, let's talk 1992. And just, he should do that for the rest of the year. Give a little history lesson. But Also, here's the problem for McDaniel and Greer and what have you. It's year 7 for Greer of calling the shots, of truly calling the shots, having final say in personnel from Stephen Ross. It's year 7. It's year 4 for McDaniel. This isn't year 1 and 2. This isn't year 2 for the GM and year 1 for the coach.
And they don't ever beat a good team.
No.
The NFL is not about moral victories and losses. It's only about your record. And a fan base can stomach a team that's bad but getting better. A fan base can stomach a team that maybe loses a couple of games that they shouldn't, but you watch them beat a couple of good teams and see what? That you have some hope. I mean, Tua and McDaniel's record against teams above 500 is dreadful. Even when they made the playoffs, they did it largely, and there's nothing wrong with that because I've said it on the show about football and other sports. Beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and amazingly enough, sooner or later, you start climbing the top of that ladder. Miami's never been able to do that. Even with winning records, David, they weren't beating the good football teams.
Nope. And unfortunately, the tipping point was 2 years ago when the division was there for the taking. And all they had to do was win 2 more home games. And one of them was against the lowly Tennessee Titans.
We already have a Dolphins poll question up. That didn't take long. When the Dolphins fire Mike McDaniel, which retread should the Dolphins hire? We give you 3. John Gruden, Bill Belichick, Mike McCarthy, and then our version of Idol, none of the above.
No!
Right now, surprise, surprise, surprise. John Gruden getting over 50% of the vote.
Wow.
And there's another football game in South Florida. This one actually matters to people in South Florida. The Canes and the Gators. We put the point spread on it. It's up to 9.5.
Unbelievable.
Who do you got? Gators or Canes? You laying it or you taking it? Starting 5 next.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Oh, by the way, not for nothing, just if you remember the next time we have him on, I was talking to Kevin Brockway before our interview with him, and I said, "Hey, not for nothing, would you be able?" So we do our show. David and I are different places. We do it on this thing called StreamYard video. Would you ever be able to do these? Absolutely, I use StreamYard all the time.
Oh, okay.
He's like, "Yeah, I would be happy to." Like, that's great. I go, the sound quality is just better than the phone for whatever reason. He's like, "Sure." So just for what it's worth. Oh, speaking of which, I should probably send out some invitations. All right, now I need a lot of NFL upsets this weekend. I just took Buffalo and said enough with this survival league last night. I don't think so, Javier. I'm taking the points in the Gators. I'm telling you right now. Just trying to figure out pick 5 right now.
So, Michael, is that the cap hit after June 1st?
That's what someone else typed to, 62.5.
Oh,
By the way, how about choke job for Carl? That's awful.
it is.
Awful. That's St. Bonaventure all over again. You can't do that. That's terrible. Anybody believe that Steve Ballmer was duped by a company for $118 million? Those were his words.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till Lee Sterling joins us with his picks. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Pat Kirwan will join us, 8 a.m. Eastern. Gary Ferman, who covers the Canes for Cane Sport. He'll join us a couple hours from now. Miller and Moulton will make their picks next hour. Make sure you write mine down and go the other way. If so, you'd be 14-4 on the young season, huh? Don't say we're not giving out winners.
No, you're not.
Right. Just go the other way. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the Starting Five.
Thursday Night Football. Bills beat the Dolphins 31-21. Buffalo's 3-0. Miami's 0-3. Josh Allen, 3 touchdown passes. Terrell Bernard with the key play of the game. There was a big one earlier, a special team screw up by the Dolphins allowed the Bills to continue a drive and score. But the Dolphins were driving for the tying score, late fourth. Tua got picked. He threw 2 touchdowns, although he only threw for 146 yards. Dolphins actually ran the ball effectively, a little over 5 yards a carry, 130 yards rushing and a touchdown. But the Bills also ran it effectively. James Cook over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. Buffalo's won 7 straight in the series and 14 of 15. Bills, a win, but not a cover. 31-21. Other NFL news. Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy, he ain't going to play. He didn't practice again yesterday. It'll be Carson Wentz Sunday against the Bengals. Brock Purdy, meanwhile, limited for a second straight day in practice. When asked, will he be playing Sunday against Arizona, he said, quote, "We'll see," unquote. I don't know. Limited Thursday in practice, play on Sunday. Seems like a stretch, but we'll see. An injury in practice yesterday for Green Bay tight end Tucker Kraft. What extent is the injury? The Packers say it's not serious. Let's see if he practices today as to whether or not he's going to play on Sunday. Packers are saying long-term he'll be okay. We hope so. Texan safety Jimmy Ward, who's been suspended twice in the last few months, will ultimately not face felony domestic violence charges, according to a grand jury yesterday. He does, however, remain on the commissioner's exempt list. He can't practice with them. He ain't getting paid, nothing. His agent said, I think he'll come off the list on Monday. We'll see. College football, Rice won at Charlotte 28-17, and they covered the 2.5. The Owls are 3-1 on the season. Jameis Winston is going into the Florida State Hall of Fame. I mean, you would think so. He led them to the playoffs twice and a natty and won a Heisman. I mean, I don't know how you can win a Heisman and not be in a school's Hall of Fame, but, you know, Jameis said he was thrilled with the honor. Couple of college games tonight. Tulsa and Oklahoma State, 7:30 on the 4-letter network. The Cowboys are an 11.5-point favorite over Tulsa at home. Meanwhile, Kirk Ferentz, who last week became the all-time winningest Big Ten coach, he and the Hawkeyes are 2.5-point favorites against Rutgers in Piscataway. 8 p.m., Big Fox, Timmy B with the call.
Key number in this game is not the 2.5. It's Iowa. And the over-under is 45.5.
That seems high for an Iowa game, doesn't
That seems astronomical for an Iowa game.
Baseball. Rays shut out the Jays 4-0. Chandler Simpson with 3 hits. Rays 3 games below 500 with 9 to play. Jays' magic number is 6. Yankees went to Baltimore. Max Fried. Cy Young, Max Fried. 18th win. Nobody has more in all of baseball. He struck out 13 Orioles in the 7-0 win. Yankees 3 back of the Jays. They don't play one another the rest of the year, and Toronto owns the tiebreaker. Red Sox, meanwhile, stay 6 back. So 3 games separating the Red Sox and the Yankees. That's good news for the Yankees because, well, the Red Sox would have the tiebreaker in who would host a wild card series if they were to end up tied. A's have won 6 of 7, by the way. Mark, we've just about hit the over, haven't we?
One more win. They're at 72.5 was the over-under. They have 72 dubs, David.
Meanwhile, things get a little tight in Motown.
Those sphincters are tightening, people.
Skubal came back from the side injury he suffered against the Marlins. He pitched very effectively. 6 innings, just 1 run. Unfortunately, it was only tied at 1 going to the 7th. Ramirez with a 2-run homer. Cleveland sweeps the Tigers 3-1. Guardians are 3.5 back, 3 in the loss column, and they own the tiebreaker. And they host the Tigers for 3 next week. Just saying. By the way, the Guardians are on such a run, they're only a game and a half behind the Red Sox for the final wild card spot in the American League. Seattle jumped into a first-place tie with Houston, beating the Royals 2-0. Mariners, Astros, beginning tonight in Houston, a 3-game series. The season series is tied, so the winner of this series will lead the West and own the tiebreaker heading into the final week of the season. Listen, I know Juan Soto's, he's a bum this year, right? He's been terrible. Yeah, he's got 40 homers and 100 RBIs, but man, he's not very good.
I believe 41's, like he had 41 last year, which is his career high.
Right. No, I know. He's a bum, though. And he's got over 30 steals, I think. Yeah, he's a bum. Mets beat the Padres 6-1. Alonso homered at his 4th straight game. Mets remain 2 games ahead of the Reds. How about Hunter Green last night? First ever complete game. He threw a 1-hit shutout against the Cubs. So since he's 2 back, Arizona's 2 back. Giants are fading. They lost to the Dodgers 2-1. Strange game. Yamamoto and 5 relievers threw a 1-hitter. They also walked 10 batters. That's nuts. Ohtani's hot. He had 2 doubles, drove in the game-winning run. Dodgers win, Padres lose. That ups the Dodgers' lead to 3 in the West. The Cubs lost, but the Brewers won. They swept the Angels 5-2 the final. Yelich with his 100th RBI. Brewers lead is 6 with 9 to play. Their magic number is 4. Telling you, Reds get the Brewers final 3 games of the season. Milwaukee's going to have nothing to play for. Mets better keep winning. That's all I'm saying. Marlins have won 7 of 8. They swept the Rockies 9-7. Clayton Kershaw announced his retirement effective at the end of the season. The 37-year-old 11-time All-Star won 3 Cy Youngs, an MVP, helped the Dodgers win 2 World Series, struck out over 3,000, 222 wins. He will be
and less than 100 losses.
Correct.
As well. I mean, while that's an impressive number, it's like 222 and 91, I think, David.
I think it's 96, but yeah.
Okay, but
it's amazing.
It really is.
It's a winning percentage of almost 70%. It's amazing.
He, Scherzer, and Verlander, I mean, of that
by the way,
generation of pitchers are all walking into Cooperstown, and I don't know in what order.
Well, and that's a great poll question in of itself. Who's the best pitcher of the generation? Kershaw, Verlander, and Scherzer. You can make a great case for all 3 and argue it before any jury. Stacey Lewis, 2-time major winner, former number 1 player in the world. There haven't been a lot of Americans who have been number 1 in the last 20 years on the LPGA Tour. She's 40, and she announced, at the end of the year, I'm retiring. And the LA Kings captain, Anze Kopitar. See a Hall of Famer, Mark? I think he's made, 6 All-Star games, helped the Kings win their 2 cups, 38 years old, playing his whole career for the Kings. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's, Kings could retire his number or put him in their Ring of Honor or something like that. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but what do I know? WNBA. Our buddy Semesco suffered a crusher at home. The better team, the better seed, lost to the Fever. Blew a 7-point lead at the half. They only scored 29 points in the second half, lost to Indiana 87-85. Fever with the game-winning bucket with 7 seconds to play. They'll advance and play Vegas, who barely survived. They entered the playoffs on a 16-game winning streak, blew out Seattle in game 1, lost game 2, and needed a bucket with 12 seconds to go last night to beat Seattle 74-73. By the way, game 3 tonight, New York and Phoenix. New York's the defending league champion. Loser goes home. And finally, well, not finally, I'll give you Brandon Holtz won the U.S. Mid-Amateur. Both guys in the Mid-Amateur final were former pros. You okay with that?
Yes.
That,
yes. There are, I know so many people who tried to make it in the golf world in their 20s and realized they couldn't. They went and got real jobs out of the golf business,
right?
Kept playing and regained their amateur status. It's a common thing in the sport. I have no problem with it.
Brandon Holtz is one of those. He turns 39 soon. He'll be at the Masters and the U.S. Open next year. He won the U.S. Mid-Amateur. And finally, man, this is a story I'd love Pablo Torre to get to the bottom of. Did you hear the Wofford basketball story? So they claim that the NCAA has suspended 6 of their players for the season. They're done. For accepting impermissible benefits ranging from $84 to $108. It all has to do with their housing. They had to give it up, yet they were still on the meal plan, and apparently that's not allowed based on where they ended up moving to. And, the school year just started. $84 to $108. This costs the head coach at Wofford his job. This has cost the associate head coach's job. 6 players apparently are now ineligible to play. The rest of the team has said to the school, reinstate the coaches or we're not going to play. Practice starts in 2 weeks. The season starts in 6. Half the team's ineligible, and the other half is threatening the school. Meanwhile, $84 to $108 on a meal plan. And we're declaring them ineligible, not for a game, for the season. And the kids didn't do anything wrong. They went to live where they were told to go live. The NCAA then late yesterday said, oh, no, wait, we didn't suspend them. The kids at Wofford are like, yeah, I got the letter right here. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was the starting 5. 5 big stories, and to err is human, but to really it up, you need the NCAA.
A little Wofford for you in the starting 5 today.
Is it Wofford? Is it Wolford? I don't know. Sorry.
I drive a Chevy.
I'm sorry. I know there was a senator from Pennsylvania who had that name once. Or I don't know. My bad.
Miller and Moulton. Couple of poll questions for you. Who out of the retread list? And you know what? I shouldn't have. David said, what about a none of the above? And I usually don't do that. I usually make you choose. And I put none of the above up there, and a bunch of you are going to vote for that. I wanted to see which retread you wanted. That's all right. Gruden's still leading. But are you taking the Gators plus the 9.5? Or are you taking the Canes and laying the 9.5? Lee Sterling coming up. That's one of the games he'll pick for us as Lee tries to get himself back on his winning ways And Miller and Moulton will make their next picks next hour as well.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe, your home for all the football and baseball that September provides, plus a nightly food special. Got bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays, live music Fridays, karaoke Saturdays. Never mind the fact that Shoeless Joe's is going to celebrate Grandparents' Day, National Hot Dog Day, National Cheeseburger Day, all in the month of September. Food and drink specials during every NFL game. Shoeless Joe's, the official home for Ohio State football. Shoeless Joe's, good food, good times, good sports in the Doubletree by Hilton. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
So I asked him at Floor Meisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floor Meisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floor Meisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floor Meisters, floormeisters.com.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, I do think, Adam, you can deal Hill towards the deadline. The number's big enough that I don't think you could do it now, but I think you could deal him at the deadline. I think that's a possibility. And Pittsburgh and Kansas City apparently had shown some interest. The problem right now, Adam, believe it or not, is this whole domestic violence thing that they're investigating. If he's going to get suspended, obviously no one's going to touch him. So I would think that has to get resolved first.
Yeah, JDR. That's if you're in Jersey. If you're from Jersey, okay, we kind of poke fun at Piscataway, and so sometimes But yes, it's kind of a Jersey thing. Piscataway. I think Brando's got an NFL game Sunday too. I think he's doing it with Matt Millen.
Morning.
Morning, Lee.
Good morning. I was waving to you guys.
Well, it's early.
Yeah.
And
So,
Reposting your post with the link to the site.
okay, great. Appreciate it.
Just trying to get that done.
Got the Baker's Dozen this weekend.
Ah,
My clients love this promotion. It's a chance for them to try it for the week. So I was listening to, he's underrated, Kevin Kugler.
okay. He's been around a while.
Yeah, he's not an old guy either.
No.
Just can't get up there. He can't climb the ladder.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Pat Kirwan to talk all things NFL in an hour. Gary Ferman to focus in on the Canes and Gators with a Miami focus in about 90 minutes. Lee Sterling joins us now. He joins us at this day and time every week. Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. How you doing on this Football Friday?
I'm good. In fact, the last show I taped last night, I taped a couple shows, was with Gary Ferman. So do something with Gary at Cane Sport now for a number of years.
Yeah, that's why we're going to have him on. I don't know if you're aware that Gators and Canes are playing tomorrow night.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Joe Stone Crab, and I'll see a bunch of bull gators there. So,
are they buying? If they're bull gators, they should be buying, Lee.
No. Well, they're buying for themselves, not for me. So,
well,
I'm going with the Canes group.
Little early for Joe Stone Crab. Still a month away before season, kids.
I know. But there's other things there. They have frozen stone crabs, and they're actually really good. Do you know that?
It makes sense. Frozen, if they're caught and frozen right away, they're fine.
Yeah.
For a short time, I worked with a little stone crab company. So, yes, I am aware that they are frozen, and they are equally as delicious. The delight of the South Florida waters. All right, let's get to the games, Lee. You've got the good ones again. Oklahoma and Auburn. This started out at 6.5. It's moved to 7.5. Sooners and the Tigers. How do you see this one?
All right. So the quarterback comes back to the scene of the crime. So usually you just see this in the NFL. We're going to start seeing some situations where quarterbacks end up facing their old team maybe 2 or 3 times. But fun game here. So the problem here for Auburn, watch their game against Baylor again. Most of their best plays were on broken plays. And you can't count on that against good teams on the road consistently. So give them credit. They hung in that game. Baylor gave them a good first punch, but rebounded. And I think they're much better with Jackson Arnold. But who's the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma? Head coach, Brent Venables. So he has to know his old quarterback, I think, pretty well. He didn't have much to work with last year. Their offensive line was terrible. Their top 5 receivers, never seen that. We're out the entire year. But I think they're a different team, Oklahoma, with John Mateer. If I was voting right now for the Heisman Trophy, I would vote Mateer. He makes things happen running and throwing. Would you agree, David?
I might go Haynes King of Georgia Tech, but yeah, okay. I'm just
they
saying.
beat Clemson.
No, they
John-
beat Clemson. Exactly. It's a better win than Oklahoma has on their schedule. Michigan, Clemson right now. Who would you take?
Ooh,
Clemson by a point.
Okay. I'm just saying.
that's a nice bowl game right there.
It
If
is.
both miss the
Yeah,
playoff,
I was
that's
going
a
to say
good-
that's a couple of 8-4 teams playing at like 11 a.m. in Tampa. Yeah.
Right. John Mateer is special. If you don't know how good he is, pop in a tape of him playing last year against Washington. Willed his team to win with very little talent. And they're so bad without him. They were losing last week at North Texas, 42-0 at the half. So I think the kid's special. I don't know what kind of pro he's going to make, but I think as a college quarterback, right now, I would pick him number one. So
Okay.
I like Oklahoma here, 34-21.
All right. So lay the 7.5
Yep.
with the Sooners. Will you lay the big number with the Noles? 44.5 at home against Kent State.
Probably not. They went with a youth movement at Kent State. They had a couple older guys in there, juniors, seniors at the skill positions, and they opened it up. Drew DeShields is the quarterback, young kid, redshirt freshman. They actually play two quarterbacks in all three games. I just think it's a little too high. I think Florida State might be peeking ahead a little bit to Miami. Let's say they win this game here, 51-13. I'll take Kent State and hold my nose.
Will you ever? I don't know if Kent State's ever been picked in the 19-year history of this show by anyone. That may be a first.
I don't know if you know this. They were 0-12 last year. Their win this year, I think it's called Merrimack, and Merrimack outgained them. So maybe Kent State was looking ahead to Texas Tech.
Probably. All right, the big game in South Florida, Canes and Gators. The line is now 9.5 for Miami. I've already picked this game. I'm curious what you think. Florida's defense has been really good. Florida's offense has been dreadful. Carson Beck's dealing. How do you see it?
Combination, I think the right tackle is horrible. I'll never forget my head coach in high school. We had this big fella at right tackle, and he had a horrible game one time. He told me, if you can't block the guy, just lay down, and maybe he'll trip over you. So they are that deficient there. I think it's going to force them to go to more 3- and 5-step drops. And Miami has really good edge rushers, but this is a rivalry game here. Miami's good. I don't think they're the best team in the country. They're probably somewhere in the top 7 or 8. I think Miami's going to win this game 26-24, but I'm taking the points here in Florida.
Ooh, boy, that would be a classic. So picking the Canes to win, but taking the Gators and the 9.5. All right, to the NFL. The Jags let one get away last week. The Texans are 0-2. Jags hosting Houston, 1.5-point favorite.
You got to kick the field goal in that situation last week. 4th and 5 at the 7. Make them go the length of the field to beat you. They did, obviously, after they missed it, but it just changed the whole momentum. You could just see the air just go out of that Jags team. They deserve to win. I thought they played well. I think they're improving here. Texans, big problem, offensive line. I think they're actually worse than the Dolphins, and that's saying a lot. So C.J. Stroud may not make it through the season this year. Got a lot of young, promising receivers. Did well in the draft, but their coaching still leaves a little bit be desired in big games. I'm taking the Jags. I think the Jags pull it off here. Continue to play well. 26-20.
I started writing it down on my sheet. I didn't have the guts to do it, Lee. All right.
Okay.
The Bucs their offensive line's banged up. Abuka may not play. They've lost a starter on the defensive line. I love the Bucs. I had them going to the NFC title game. I'm petrified about what's going on with the offensive line, but Tyrod Taylor and the Jets, can the Bucs cover the 6.5?
I don't know if I told you guys this, but my only futures bet as far as on winning the conference or winning the Super Bowl is none other than, I'm going to show it up on my screen so anyone can see it. If they win the conference, I'm going to make over $4,000. So I got them at 15-1. They are now down to 10-1 most places, 9-1, 11-1 a few other places. But I'm going to send you guys a screenshot. So identified the Bucks. I think they're really good. They don't have any one real perceived weakness. Obviously, when you have injuries week to week, but the Jets, if they have to play without their quarterback Fields, not as good with Tyrod Taylor, and they find ways to lose. We're going to keep riding the Bucks here. I think they win this game 27-20 because they have Baker, the touchdown maker.
And that would be a cover because they're laying 6.5, and they would win by 7. All right. Game of the week. Have to wait till Monday night. Hey, who knows? Could be a Super Bowl preview. Ravens and Lions. The spread 6.5. Baltimore favored. It's your game of the week.
Yep. Love this game. First 5 callers that call 800-400-9741. Give it to them for free. 800-400-9741. And this is the promotion I get more texts, emails, and calls on. The Baker's Dozen. A couple of my clients call it the world's famous Baker's Dozen because we've had some 12-1, 11-2, and 10-3 records on this before. So you want to get the Baker's Dozen. 13 games combined Saturday and Sunday. Just $97. It's available right now. ParamountSports.com.
800-400-9741. You can follow Lee on X at Paramount Sports. And even if you don't wager, check out his website. It's very informative. It's very good. A lot of football on video. Lee, as always, we thank you. All the best to you and your family. Enjoy the Gators and the Canes tomorrow night, and we'll talk next week.
You too, guys. Take care.
Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741.
So Lee going with the Sooners laying the 7.5. Going with, are they the Golden Flash? Golden Flashes? What the hell is Kent State?
Are they the Flashes? I don't know. I'll look it up. Keep going.
But Kent State plus 44.5. He's taking the Gators plus the 9.5, laying the 1.5 with the Jags, and laying the 6.5 with the Bucks. It's the Kent State Golden Flashes, David.
Yes, they are.
That is a team that intimidates right there. One of the worst programs in Division I football today, but he's taken the 44.5 against Florida State.
Just hoping that Florida State is literally mailing one in. Because if they're not, this could be 70-3.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it could. We shall see.
Miller and Moulton. All right. Mark, by the way, had a winning week last week. Mark's right around 500. We call that the Mendoza line when it comes to betting. Okay. Mark's just a game under. Me, meanwhile, I'm 14-4. Oh, that's if you take my picks and go the other way. Right. So,
David, I know, is at that point of the season already, because I will say this. If you've paid any attention to us and our picks, David has basically told you to fade him in September.
Totally.
And not basically, David's told you to fade him in September.
I've been this decade, for whatever reason, I have gotten off to horrible starts. Some years I don't recover. Last year I started 3-12 and finished at like 52%, which still, with the VIG loses you a few bucks. But I mean, I don't know what it is. This is how bad it is. I even started winless in August. That's how ice cold I am. Was it Foreigner cold as ice? I mean,
it was. Yes.
I think they were singing about my picks.
David will pick games. I'll pick 5. I have no idea how many picks David has for you playing at home. I'll set the over-under on Moulton picks at 7.5. 7.5 is the Moulton over-under on number of picks. We'll find out which the picks sure to go wrong next.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest, now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available, delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, floormeisters.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332542.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, if Lee goes 2-3 again, I hope it's the same 2 I have.
Okay.
I wrote down Jacksonville. I kept writing down Jacksonville, and I'm like, is Houston really going to go 0-3? And I just didn't have the guts. I didn't have the guts.
I hear you.
They should win. They're better right now.
I think they are right now.
Like, I think they're better right now. Houston has 0 weapons.
Nico Collins.
That's it.
Yep. Nico Collins. I think they need to use their tight ends more. They got Dalton Schultz, and the backup's not bad either, but yes, unlike Tampa, Jacksonville should be able to get home with 4. But if you look at the tape, why not blitz them? Goodness knows they couldn't block it.
Well, Javier, I will say, because you know, obviously I've read your emails. I don't think he survives if it's close. I think the only way Napier's gone after Saturday is if it's ugly. You know, a 42-17 type game. And you kind of said it in your email, and others have said it. It's not going to come from the president because there isn't one. So is Strickland really going to fire? I mean, I called for it. I'm not taking back what I said. But if they get blown out, I could see it happening. But a lot of you and other Gators that I've talked to have kind of slapped me around a little bit. And you may be right. You may be right.
I may be crazy. Ow.
There is hope for my daughter in rock and roll. I had a Beatles song, and first off, it was funny because when she thinks of rock, she thinks of when I play like the Rage Against the Machine type stuff. So she's like, this isn't rock and roll. Like that actually, this, as a matter of fact, is exactly what rock and roll is. But we were playing a game in the car. She was just flabbergasted by me because I was telling her how much I love Led Zeppelin. So she had her phone, and this is before it was taken away, and she is just playing Zeppelin songs. Like, she looked them up, and I'm within 4 notes telling her what song it is. And she's just like, how? And she even liked a couple. I was like, all right, now I've got you liking a Beatles song. I got you liking a little Led Zeppelin. There's hope here.
No doubt.
By the way, the Muppet Show is making, like, they have a 50th anniversary show coming.
Huh.
And Sabrina Carpenter, the hot pop chick there, is going
Right.
to be the guest host or the musical guest or whatever. I thought that was kind of fun.
I keep playing the Heart rendition of Stairway to Heaven over and over again on my travels.
I have literally just been telling Alexa to play Led Zeppelin in the kitchen. And then last night I was watching the game and kind of flipping through TikTok because of my algorithms. It throws a lot of live songs on there. When Letterman was having all the grunge bands on, I mean, like Stone Temple Pilots, and first off, the whole thing with Eddie Vedder walking in, doing the 3 lines from the do from Black and walking out is so fantastic. Because Letterman had no clue. He got punked, basically.
Yep. On his own show.
And the irony is it developed a pretty good friendship between the two of them.
Yep. You found out just how connected Paul Schaefer was.
Oh, yeah. Very true.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Pat Kirwan will join us in 40 minutes' time. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Lee Sterling made his picks. We don't know if any of these games are games that he gives out to his clients. Doesn't sound like it this week because usually he mentions it. But he's laying the points with Oklahoma. He's taken the 44.5 with Kent State, but he wasn't very convincing. He basically said, they could be the worst team, but I think Florida State's just going to throw their helmets on the field. He's taken the points with the Gators, which is surprising. Lee's a bit of a Canes homer. Okay, likes the Canes. Has family connections to the Canes.
His daughter was a Miami Hurricane cheerleader, David?
I heard that once or twice. Yet he's taking the Gators with the points. He likes the Canes straight up. He's laying the points with the Jags and Bucks, both at home. Jacksonville laying 1.5 against Houston. Tampa laying 6.5 against the Jets. His game of the week, by the way, if you're interested, is Monday night, Lions-Ravens. Well, Mark, I only made 5 picks.
Oh, my goodness.
In college.
Okay. I didn't have the guts to set the over-under at 8.5, but I probably should have.
And
all
it's
right,
still,
fire away. Let's get after it.
And it still would be over. Do you know Nebraska has not beaten a ranked team in 9 years?
27 in a row, David, that they have lost to ranked teams.
Michigan is ranked.
Yes, they are.
Does the streak end tomorrow in Lincoln? Until it does, I'm taking the Wolverines and laying the 1.5. I don't even know if Indiana's better than Illinois. And Illinois is getting 6.5.
Yeah.
I know they've got some injuries. This seems like a lot of points to me because I think it's a 1-score game. Hope I don't lose by a hook. Give me Illinois in the 6.5. Maybe I just have UCF's week 1 performance still in my head, but UCF favored by 7.5 against the Fighting Belichicks just seems like a lot.
Keeps moving up.
What's it now?
No, you're right. 7.5.
Okay.
It was 6.5 a day or two ago. I mean, it's shocking to me.
Yeah, I'm taking the Fighting Tar Heels and the points. FIU. I'm kicking myself I didn't take them last week against FAU. I gave that one out for free. They're back at home. They're taking on the Hens of Delaware. First year, I think, making the big move up to the FBS. They're not bad, but I'm laying the 5.5 with FIU. And South Carolina without their quarterback's not very good. They're not going to have their quarterback at Missouri. Give me the Tigers and lay 9.5. All right. I don't think the Bears start 0-3. And considering the Cowboys were fortunate to beat the Giants, I'm going to take the Bears and a 1.5 at home against Dallas. I don't think the Steelers start 1-2. It's basically a pick 'em in New England. Well, I'll take Pittsburgh and lay the 1.5. And Mark, don't get me wrong. I think Tampa Bay and Kansas City are beating the New York teams. But I don't know how many points they're going to score this week. Like, I think Tampa's going to run the ball a lot. I think they're going to shorten the game and just get them out of town. And I actually think Tyrod Taylor may give a better performance from the pocket than Justin Fields would. All right? Give me the Jets and the Giants each getting 6.5 against the Bucs and the Chiefs, respectively. 6.5 is a lot of points in the NFL. Just ask me. I had Arizona in 6.5 last week against Carolina. And that's 9. 5 college and 4 pro. So make your money going the other way.
You know, I didn't like that you jumped me. I had a winning record. Typically, the guy with the winning record gets to pick first. Since you pick first, I didn't have time to change the picks that we agree on. Now I'm scared because, well, David in September, ... But again, I think I was the one, and you probably already knew it getting ready for the game, but I had sent you a post yesterday about Nebraska and their struggles against ranked teams. 27 in a row. Nebraska's got a good quarterback. Michigan may have a special quarterback. Give me the Wolverines, Michigan, to cover the 1.5 at Nebraska. I'm with Lee. The fact that the old Oklahoma quarterback's coming back, I don't think does well. I think Auburn's very overrated right now. We talked about it earlier in the week, David. It's like the SEC softball rankings. Let's just put everybody in the conference in the top 25. The AP rankings are the biggest joke in North American sports right now. It is being pointed out week after week. Watch Josh Pate's videos. Watch others where they are literally going on the attack of how ignorant the people that are voting in the AP are. It's an absolute joke. I've even thought about talking to Bud Elliott and starting my own ranking system and getting people who actually watch the sport to rank the sport. Not people that watch one team, people that watch the sport, because these people in the AP do not. I'm going to take Oklahoma, and I'm going to lay the 7.5 against Auburn. I liked it better when it was 6.5, but I'll bite. Gators and Canes are going to play a really good game Saturday. The Gators' defense is very good. I don't think it's possible for DJ Lagway to play as badly as he did last week. I don't see it. Give me the Gators plus the 9.5. I think they cover. I've said it for a couple of weeks now. NC State's undefeated. They could be 0-3 as easily as they are 3-0. I think Duke's okay. They're fine. Tulane was good. They lost that game. Illinois, they played with Illinois for a half and screwed it up in the second half. Give me Duke, and I'm going to lay the 2.5 against the Wolfpack. And I'm with David. I think Pittsburgh's better than New England, and I don't think that the Steelers are going to start out 1-2. I think this defense finally shows up. I think you're going to see Watt get after the quarterback much the same way Max Crosby did when Vegas played them week 1. Give me the Steelers, and I'll lay the 1.5 against New England. That's 5. That's where I stop. For the record, I've made 15 picks in 3 weeks. David has made 18. He jumps to 27 through 4 weeks. One of the fun polls we could have is how many more picks by the end of the season will David have over me, considering we've talked about doing 5 a week. And David did 5 this week, like he said, 5 college.
Yeah, and then 4 pro. I just couldn't find a 5th.
2 similar picks to Moulton. Let's go. Time to make this happen. Time to start rolling, Moulton. Did you get to the point this week where you wrote down all your picks and thought about flipping them?
No.
And everybody, and David and I have both gone through, this isn't easy. You go over 500, you go 55% of the year picking 5 games a week. Good on you. That means you're really good at this. Betting is not easy. They don't knock down casinos to build smaller ones. But when I've gone through my struggles, you think about flipping your picks.
Yes.
And then in your head, you say, but what if this is the week I do really well? And you can't convince yourself to fade yourself.
I've yet to win more than 2 in a given week. Now, the first 2 weeks, I only picked 5. Last week, I picked 8. This week, we're going 9. So if it's 2 and 7 this week, you're darn right next week I'm making my picks, and then I'm just flipping them.
Either that, or maybe you turn to the granddaughter and let her make your picks.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service. Floormeisters.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, Clark, there is no one that chases quite like one David Moulton. I love it. I'm right there with you. And Puck, I know you're an Auburn guy, and that's not a shot at you, obviously. You know better than that. But I don't see it. Maybe we'll this week. Hey, they go in and play them tough and win. Good on them. But just like the AP polls, it seems that if you're in the SEC, you have to be good. Don't let watching the game fool you. Liked it a lot more at 6.5, though, Puck. I've got to be honest with you. That last point jump went on. Damn. Now, Paula, I know you're a little older than I am, but I am very jealous of you for having seen Zeppelin at Cobo. Were jean jackets big in that day, and were you going the jean suit to the Zeppelin concert, or was it summer and it was just T-shirt time? Left Twix, I don't think he saved it. He may have saved it for a while. There's no way he's coaching that team next year. Yeah, my mom's kind of too old for that music, and my aunt and uncle that would have been the ones I could talk to. My uncle's been gone for a long time. He died way too young, and he was the rocker. And my aunt has Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever, and she can't remember yesterday, unfortunately, which sucks. But they were the rockers of my family. They're the ones that got me into music when I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' house. Stevie Wonder opening. But you know what's great? That's amazing, because when the Stones toured, may have been the Tattoo You tour or somewhere around there, Prince was their opening act. I mean, so obviously they had a history of putting opening acts that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Like I remember, and I obviously didn't go, but when the Who did that tour in the 80s, one of, there are many almost like reunion tours, if you will. The Clash opened, and I remember, friends' brothers went specifically to see the Clash. I don't know if I could say, Left Twix, Guns N' Roses in 88 was pretty damn cool, because Sweet Child of Mine hadn't even broken as a single yet. I mean, we knew it from the album if you were listening, but that was cool because they were raw. They were still trying to make it. And Stevie Ray Vaughan opening for Robert Plant. And not Robert Plant, but Stevie Ray Vaughan. That was a concert I'll never forget. I saw Pink Floyd, I don't think it was the 87 tour. It was in college. Might have been 89, 90. I saw him in the Silverdome. Oh, Michael, that's awesome.
Back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till Pat Kirwan joins us to discuss a whole bunch of week 3 in the NFL. Here on Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Couple poll questions, right?
Yeah. Which retread are we going to hire when McDaniel gets fired? Right now, 40% of you would take John Gruden. More of you would take Belichick than McCarthy, but none of the above, trailing Gruden by mere percentage points.
I wanted Mark to just, instead of putting it none of the above, which is, very polite, very formal, I just wanted him to go, no, with about 9 O's and 8 exclamation points. But, he's being polite. Happens from time to time.
And then Canes or Gators. I can't talk today. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, it started with Floridian
Yeah, I'm
for whatever reason.
I got marbles in my mouth today. I don't know what the hell's going on.
And
Got a good night's sleep?
And you've been a Floridian for over a quarter century.
Yes.
Right.
Figure it out at some point. But the Canes, slow down, Mark. The Canes minus 9.5 or the Gators plus 9.5. In a battle of two Floridian teams. All right, there we go. Feeling better. 56% of you going Canes right now and laying the 9.5. I mentioned it about the polls, David. There are people who cover the sport who are on the attack. There are those that are fringe covering the sport that have popular, whether it's YouTube or Instagram accounts that are going after it. Josh Pate has gone after it. Did you see that there is a voter that has an AP vote that this week had South Carolina ranked 10th in the country after losing to Vanderbilt 31-7 and did not have Vanderbilt in their top 25? This is why David and I harp on this.
But the problem is that these rankings influence voters. They influence the sport. It's a sport based on public opinion and what ends up forming a consensus. Now, we have millions of examples of where the consensus is wrong. In fact, I think in the last 10 years, we're going through a phase where wait for the consensus and go the other way. But Mark, you have to acknowledge these polls have an impact. Even when they're wrong, people seemingly forget what's wrong about the polls and then focus on more of what they got right. I mean, are we sure that the SEC is worthy of 11 ranked teams? Really? Really?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the SEC's done thus far this year to deserve that. You and I have discussed already. We have no idea who the best SEC team is.
I mean, remember, that's 11 ranked teams with Florida and South Carolina falling out of the polls, and they were both preseason top 15s. Hell, last week, South Carolina was 11. Can I ask you a question, though? And I'll put both of us on the spot here. Let's just say the first poll was coming out this week. How are you going to vote? You voting on resume, or are you voting on who you think is really good? Because let's face it, there's only been so many games in which Power 4 teams have played Power 4 teams. I mean, look at the best Big 12 game of the day. They're getting what? The big noon spot on Fox?
Utah and Texas Tech.
Right.
Look
What
at
are
who
they?
they've played.
16 and 17 in the country. Okay. Utah. Now, I picked the Utes to win the Big 12 for what it's worth. They've played UCLA, Cal Poly, and Wyoming. And yet, that's going to look like a strong schedule, I think, when you look at who Texas Tech has played. They played Arkansas Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon State.
I guess you could, make comparisons. Oregon State and UCLA as bad as they are. By the way, wait to see how many people turn down the UCLA job.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the worst jobs in Power 4 football. They have no money. They had to borrow money from the university to pay off athletic department debt. That is a terrible job. But I First off, David, if I had to vote, you and I wouldn't even do this for at least another 2 weeks. We wouldn't even have a poll until October. And I think we've always kind of said mid-October is when they should start.
Right. I think the first bowl should be right around Columbus Day, which is the 18th of October. That's when I think it should be. So you were midway through the season. For just this reason, you can go 3 weeks. I mean, like Indiana. We have no idea if Indiana's good. Okay, well, they were good last year where they got a veteran quarterback. Great. Look at who they played. How do you know how good Indiana is? Now, they may take Illinois to the woodshed this week, for all I know. They beat Indiana State, Kennesaw State, and Old Dominion. That Old Dominion win's looking a lot better, right?
Yeah, Old Dominion whacked Va-Tech. I mean, we're giving Vanderbilt credit for their road win at Va-Tech, so you have to at least acknowledge that Old Dominion beat them too. Va-Tech's horrible. But then Vanderbilt went into South Carolina, a team that was high on a lot of teams' preseason rankings, and they destroyed them. But it's Vanderbilt, so people don't want to vote them higher. David, I would probably, and I don't mean to try to go middle of the road, I would do somewhere in the middle, but I wouldn't want to vote right now. But as I've always said, I've been consistent for damn near 20 years on this show. My polls week to week would fluctuate greatly. Greatly. There may be a team that I'd have 4 1 week, see them play and drop them to 11.
I think I'd have to vote the top 5, 8, or 10 based on resume, in which you'd go, oh, I can't believe you have so-and-so so high. And I'd be like, well, they've beaten so-and-so and such and such. That's 2 decent teams. How many people have even played 2 decent games? I want to give them credit for that. So, like, Mark, to me, Miami?
Yes.
LSU?
Yes, again.
Okay.
But then again, with LSU, how good's Clemson?
I understand, but week 1 at Clemson, listen, how many people would have the onions to even play the game? I got to give them credit for that.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think I'd go either Miami or LSU number 1 if I'm doing it by resume. Hell, I think I'd have Georgia Tech. I know I'd have them in the top 10.
And I'd have the Buckeyes high. They beat Texas.
Yeah.
And Texas, I think, is a good team, not a great team. But part of it is I do know what their payroll is. So that's in my head with Texas. They've paid what they think are some of the best players in the country. They're spending the most money. But how can you justify? Look at Penn State at the end of the year, I believe is going to be in the playoff. I'm sure of it. But there's nothing Penn State's done thus far this season that tells me that they're a top 2, 3 team in the country.
I mean, there are so many teams also that just have the 1 win. Well, how much are we going to weight it? Oklahoma beat Michigan by 2 scores at home. Nice win. No, I want to give them credit for that. But how much credit am I going to give them? Bryce Underwood's second ever start, first game on the road. I don't know.
But honestly, now, if I were doing rankings, and I don't know if it'll end up this way, I would have Florida State ranked higher than Penn State. I would.
Because they beat Alabama.
And then Alabama went and whooped Wisconsin, a Big Ten team. And I know Wisconsin's at best a middle-of-the-road Big Ten team, but I can at least look at Alabama having played 2 Power 4 games, losing 1 and getting whooped, and then destroying another team from Penn State's conference. Now, when Penn State gets into the meat of their schedule, and if they beat Ohio State and if they beat Oregon, then things would change. And this is my bigger problem with the AP rankings, is that I think most of them go, well, I had them ranked 3 last week and they won, so they stay 3. It doesn't matter what anybody below them did. They don't change because you want to be right. You don't want to say, man, I was way off on that team. Why? What have they proven to you?
I mean, here's the other thing. Should we be penalizing losses as severely as we do? Like, I mean, what's the difference between Georgia and Tennessee right now?
A missed field goal.
Well, the difference in the polls is 10 spots. Is that about right? I don't think so. I just watched them play.
I mean, right now, like in the AP poll, Alabama's one better than Tennessee. Now, they'll figure it out. We're going to see that game. But as David just said, Tennessee and Georgia went overtime. Tennessee outplayed Georgia. They lost the game, but they outplayed Georgia. How can you rank Alabama ahead of Tennessee right now? I couldn't.
I mean, I got to be honest. The fact South Florida is not still ranked, to me, is an embarrassment. You play 3 ranked teams to start the season, 2 of them on the road. You go 2-1. That's not worthy of a top 25 ranking? Yeah, I know. They just got boat raced by the Canes. By the way, Canes might be number 1 or number 2 in the country based on our polls. Okay, but seriously, I mean, I'm going to reward Indiana, ranking them 20. They played Indiana State and Kennesaw State. What do we think Indiana's record would be if they opened with Boise at home, at Florida, and at Miami? I mean, that's the part of this. I mean, why do we not take quality games into consideration? Also, like, I'll give them credit. Notre Dame's still ranked. There's no way there's 25 teams better than Notre Dame. There's no way. So I give them credit. I think Notre Dame should be ranked. In fact, I could argue they should be ranked higher.
And there was one pollster that still had him in the top 10. I wouldn't do that.
No.
I wouldn't have him out of the top 20.
But
if Notre Dame lost 2 close games, if they would have won those 2 close games, people would be saying they're the best team in the country.
Now, maybe their pollsters have it right. Maybe we should prioritize winning and penalize losing this much.
But we only penalize certain teams that lose. That's the problem I have, David. I mean, we're not really penalizing Alabama for losing to Florida State, but we're penalizing South Florida for losing to Miami. What's a better win, Wisconsin at home or Florida on the road?
Florida. Never mind. Who knows? Beating Boise might be a better win than beating Wisconsin, for all we know. Let's see how this plays out.
So I hate the rankings before the middle of October, but the reason we talk about them is, as David has said, and we've said many times on this show, they impact the season. They impact the committee voters. When the committee comes out with their first vote, how close is it going to be to an AP or a coaches poll? It'll be eerily close. It always is.
Because now what's the narrative? Oh, look how strong the SEC is. Really? Are we sure about that? Or are we sure actually it's not a lot of very talented jambalaya?
And who doesn't love a good jambalaya?
Well, you make a dadgum good point, Mark.
You got protein, carbs, got it all mixed together there. I feel like I should do a Gruden for that. Pat Kirwan to talk week 3 in the NFL. That's next. Thanks for listening.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
So I asked him at Floor Meisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floor Meisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floor Meisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floor Meisters, floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe, your home for all the football and baseball that September provides, plus a nightly food special. Got bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays, live music Fridays, karaoke Saturdays. Never mind the fact that Shoeless Joe's is going to celebrate Grandparents' Day, National Hot Dog Day, National Cheeseburger Day, all in the month of September. Food and drink specials during every NFL game. Shoeless Joe's, the official home for Ohio State football. Shoeless Joe's, good food, good times, good sports, in the Doubletree by Hilton. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
How you doing, Mark? David?
Pat, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
I'm good. I actually am playing golf today, Pat. I'm looking forward to it.
Very nice. I like to hear that. I gotta go down there soon. Motor vehicle screwed up my tags for my license plates. I gotta go down there
and fix them.
Well, I mailed in everything. The check I sent in cleared July 8th. And I go, you never sent me the tags. Well, they're probably lost. She said it so casually. They're probably lost.
Well, then send them again.
Yeah. That's kind of what I wanted to say to her, but
that's all right. CBS hasn't paid us for 2 weeks.
Oh, beautiful.
This new payroll system of theirs. Yep. And they're annoyed.
I swear his checks for the Bears come once a month. Drives him insane.
And they got annoyed because I had the audacity to send them an email late yesterday and go, hey, we haven't gotten paid.
What do you think? You got to eat and pay bills? Come on.
Right.
So they give me a little attitude back, and I go, listen, I wouldn't even said anything to you if you hadn't sent me 2 emails today congratulating yourself on paying me. So I just wanted you to stop patting yourself on the back because I haven't gotten paid.
And their response was, "You got some nerve, mister."
Yeah. Why don't you email us after close of business tomorrow? I said no, because then it'll be 5 o'clock on a Friday and you'll be gone for the weekend. I go, I'm actually kind of wanting you to do something about it before the weekend.
Do you talk to Diana O'Toole?
Well, I didn't talk to anybody. I'm not important enough to talk to anybody.
Oh, you're reeking of sarcasm today. I better not bring up the Giants.
Trust me, I was watching it.
Oh, Lord.
It was as if they didn't know who the kicker was on the Cowboys. I literally am watching the game going, I would press man. I'd rather give up a 40-yard pass than a easy 15-yarder over the middle.
Yeah. Well, a lot of bend, don't break guys out there. I go,
Right.
if you're bending all the way down, why do you think you're going to stop them in the red zone?
How do you think you're not going to break?
Did Buffalo look like they were going through the motions last night?
Josh Allen attempted one pass all night beyond 10 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Right.
One.
I mean, I give Miami a little credit the second half, but when Buffalo's gashing them 7 times every time they run, why do you need to do anything else? I mean, they finally started stop and cook a little bit in the second half, but they were just pushing Miami around, weren't they?
It looked like they knew they were going to win, and they weren't interested in blowing them out, and they certainly weren't interested in taking physical risks with the quarterback.
And very quickly, to answer someone in the chat room, the reason I don't stop working is because it would harm Gary.
Yes. They'll finish together.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We are halfway home on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
At least in the 239, the 904, and in Tampa, St. Pete. Final hour of the show. Port Charlotte, Venice, and surrounding areas. Live Oak Lake City and surrounding areas. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. He joins us this day and time throughout the season. He is Pat Kirwan of NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, CBS's NFL Today show. Pat joining us courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. Top of the morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing fine, fellas, and here we are, getting ready for this weekend's games, and we had one last night. I felt like Buffalo was going through the motions, and they knew they had enough firepower to win. A lot of people want to say the Dolphins gave it everything they had, and if that's all they have, then they're going to have a long season. They played okay. I'll tell you, Tua ran the ball twice, and I'm just saying, 2 more, 4 in a game, and can move that chains. Those little dimensions, which he doesn't even have in his game, he used them last night. Not enough, but there was hope in my mind that he's going to understands a couple of those third downs and 3s or 4s, run for a first down and change how the flow of the game's going.
And he actually, a couple of times also, Pat, when he didn't run, I'm with you 100% on what you said. I'll add to it that there were a couple of times that he extended the play in the pocket. He doesn't, if it's not on script, Tua struggles. And I at least liked the fact that he was able to extend a couple of plays. They didn't all work. Sometimes they were incomplete passes. But when you scramble and move around, that's a way for guys to get open. And when you have Waddle and Hill, you've got to extend the play every once in a while, too.
Absolutely. And I think watching himself for 2 games and certainly most of last year, he's honest with himself. He came to win the game. I don't think they're good enough. Their defense certainly isn't. A little bit more of that to it. Just keep going, and you're going to help your football team. And I think you're going to change the image of who you are.
Do you think he's peaked, though, Pat? He's 27 years of age. This is year 1 of the 4-year big money extension. This is when he's supposed to be entering his young prime. And it's just the feeling is, whether it's because of injuries, scheme, offensive line, whatever, that 24 and 25-year-old Tua is the best we're going to get.
Then this is not a dig at Mike McDaniel. That's not my intention here. But it'll be interesting if and when he gets another head coach, the kind of coach he's going to get. I worked with a couple of guys that were different and took no nonsense from quarterbacks or convinced them there's another dimension to your game that you're not using. I think under the present circumstances and situation, it's not going to change much. But, examples, Parcells was great at telling quarterbacks what he wanted them to do. And I think there's other guys out there. I think that Vrabel's going to have an influence on Drake May. So I do think there's a guy out there, I don't know what his name is right now, that would get him to do more with what Mark was talking about and not settle for letting him be what he wants to be. Pocket rhythm. There's more to the game now, and I think a different coach would get it from him.
All right, we're all high on the Bucs. I know you talk to Todd Bowles every week. I'm not panicking as someone who picked the Bucs to have a ton of success this year, but I'm obviously worried with what's going on and all of the injuries to the offensive line, Cansey on the defensive line, Abuka, I don't know his status for this week. He'll be fine down the road. But when you look at Tampa right now and 60% of their offensive line probably not going to play this week, one done for the year. I don't think Wirfs is back this week. So when you look at Tampa, can they get through this, and how do they get through it, Pat?
Well, hopefully, first, Mark, they get through it without Baker Mayfield taking a serious injury, right? We saw what happened in Minnesota when their third lineman went down. We talked about this on Tuesday. They came after McCarthy. Now, this guy, Baker's a lot more resourceful, but I do worry about they'll be fine on defense. They'll work around Cansey, who they love, but they'll be able to create their pressure schemes and everything else. The offensive line protection, let's look at the three injuries. Barton's done fine at left tackle. So they're surviving the left tackle one, and Wirfs will come back, and now he'll be at center. But this week, you got a backup center. You got basically a backup guard, probably Michael Jordan. I looked at their roster. They only have 7 linemen right now. They're going to have to activate practice squad guys. And the 7th lineman is a college free agent. So they're one more injury away from a disaster. Quinnen Williams and those guys are the worst team for them to face right now. Quinnen Williams is going to line up shaded on the center and work into the guard, and there will be pressure up inside from the New York Jets.
Just throwing this out there, the Bucs have started 2-0 the last 4 seasons under Todd Bowles. They haven't been 3-0 in 20 years. Okay, I don't think that the Jets game is a given, despite the Jets' performance last week. All right, Pat. How about the Rams and the Eagles as a 1:00 game? It's nice to have good games at 1:00, whether your network has them or not. A rematch of the toughest test the Eagles had on the way to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. Well, we know Philly is odd in a sense that the world champions, we have great respect for them, but there are things that are going on there that are just questionable if you're trying to repeat. Like, Jalen, is he the only quarterback started not to throw a touchdown pass? He's got great receivers, but the ball hasn't been going to the receivers. That's the first thing that you start to worry about. I think the running back is the best running back in the league there for Philly, but his numbers haven't been explosive. So there's a couple things that way, except why do I still like Philly? It's Stafford's protection. He's 0-2 against this team, Philly. He was sacked 9 times in 2 games. That's bad for them. And Stafford has been sacked 11 times in his last 4 games. So they've got a line injury issues as well. And one of them's Avila, and that is where the 2 big dogs are on Philly. So I would say the inside pressure. And Stafford's not going anywhere. He's a midline thrower now, and that's it. And their pressure is from the inside. So I would think that it is a bad matchup for the Rams.
Interesting. I think it'll be a low-scoring game as well. We've talked a little bit about this game because David and I are both picking Pittsburgh on the road. You mentioned in week 1 you liked Vegas because of the rookie tackle and Max Crosby. Is this finally the time the Steelers are able to get a pass rush. Drake may be his best game as a pro last week. Can he repeat it against Pittsburgh this week?
Well, Derek Harmon's back, right? It looks like he's going to be able to go, and they have been a disaster in the front three. He's not a savior. He's just a good, solid young player, but they absolutely need him. I'll tell you what Pittsburgh doesn't have, and they really didn't figure it out right. They did not replace Najee Harris with a power back that can be tough inside. Say what you want about Najee. He doesn't have a lot of long runs. But if you look at what he does, he's just one of those guys that will grind out an ugly 100 for you, and they don't have that. Their run game is missing in action right now. A lot of pressure on the quarterback that way. And because of that, the young offensive line, they'd be fine if it was all play action and there was a Najee Harris at the end of the play action. But they don't have that. So here comes the pressure on Rodgers. Rodgers will be good enough in this one, in my mind. Again, I'll go with what you just said, Mark. I don't think it's a high-scoring game. I think this was like 24-17.
Pat, all the backups in Minneapolis, Jake Browning, Carson Wentz, Bengals, Vikings. What do you think?
Yeah, everybody's and I love Wentz as a backup, but Wentz has got 2 starts in the last 2 years. Like, we're not counting this year. So 2 starts in 23-24. He didn't do much with it. They were 1-1. He threw 2 touchdowns in his 2 games. Meanwhile, if you really study Browning, which you guys have, he's kind of like Cooper Rush was in Dallas. Not only was he 4-3, and then consider what he did last week. He played the majority of the game. And last week, he ended up throwing the ball 11 times to Chase, and he caught 10 of them for 133 yards. So I like the quarterback advantage for Cincinnati.
And I think Jones being out for the Vikings at the running back position, too, is a factor in that one. I didn't have the guts to take it with the number, and I'm kind of kicking myself now. Houston's not looked good. Their offensive line's bad. They don't have any weapons besides Collins. Jacksonville blew it against Cincinnati. Are they able? And Jacksonville's folded when they've blown games. New coach, Liam Cohen, said all the right things. We didn't like him going forward on 4th and 5, but inside the clubhouse, they did. When you look at Jacksonville and Houston, what do you see, Pat?
I see the same strangely poor offense, the same one I saw last year. Stroud changed coaches. It's still the protection issues that are there. Meanwhile, over in Jacksonville, I'm a little intrigued by them. 1 sack of Trevor. Now, he's going to get sacked in this game. We got pass rushers in Houston, but 1 sack and 74 throws. So they have done a better job of protecting him, and I kind of like that. You guys, we've been together a long time. Houston has had Jacksonville's number, right?
Yep.
That's one of those divisional matchups that always seems to go not the way it should, but the way of Houston. I am really reluctant to do it, but I am going to take Jacksonville in the game. I'm cheering for Trevor to, first off, to invent his career. He's not here to recover his career. He's never had one. He's always been this tease. It's time for him to step up.
Leading the league in rushing so far through 2 weeks. Houston seemingly only has 1 weapon in Nico Collins. If you're a Jags fan, if not now, when are you going to beat Houston? Level of concern with the Chiefs is what for you? We got a minute till we break.
Yeah, not a lot of concern as it relates to being a playoff wild card. That's how I'll define them. If you said, would I bet on them being a wild card? Yes, I would. Would I bet on them winning the division? No, I would not. Mahomes, the left tackle's blossoming quite nicely for a rookie. That kid Sims is doing a nice job. The guy on the right side needs to be benched, but they don't have an answer yet for that guy. The defense is not very good, but we all know what Spags is going to do. He'll get resourceful. He'll get the most out of a bunch of average guys. If they don't get a pass rush from Jones for starters, he hasn't done a thing yet that way, then the secondary gets exposed. So certain opponents are going to be able to give them problems. Not this week, though.
He's Pat Kirwan, joins us every week, courtesy of Pinchers. More with Pat on the other side.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
Well, I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Mark, you playing with your buddies, your normal golf crowd?
My Friday group. Yep.
Oh my God! Welcome back, Mark.
Oh no. Well, and then I could have played last week. We've had we had a soaker. We got the course was closed last Friday.
Yeah.
It's been, we had 5 days of just straight rain.
Watch, I bet you putt great today. Don't practice before you putt. Just go out there and putt. You'll be better than you would be with lots of work. Or you have a clean mind about you can't remember the last time you putted bad. You'll be good.
Oh yeah, I'm grabbing my 7-iron. I'm gonna hit 5 7-irons to warm up, and I'm walking to the first tee.
There you go. Yeah. Just be Rory McIlroy on the green. Just walk over the ball and hit it.
Exactly. I'm not too worried about it. Whether I shoot 82 or 98, I don't care. I'm just happy to be out there playing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, Lord. What is your schedule this weekend, David?
It's not bad. I think I'm going to get 2 good games. We've got Michigan at Nebraska tomorrow. I'm flying in and out of Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. You told me that part. You're driving.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour drive.
It's much better to drive than to take the hoppers.
Yeah, I don't like
all day.
Yeah, I don't want to fly into Lincoln or Omaha. I'm not interested. And then Monday night, could be a Super Bowl preview for all we know. Detroit at Baltimore.
Yep.
I'm fascinated because the last time Detroit was, when they was it 2 years ago they went into Baltimore and they were pretty good. And Baltimore just whacked them.
Yeah. Well, we talk about this a lot. No one's able to explain it to me, so I just keep using it. The NFC cannot beat Lamar.
Nope.
And they have no weight. And I had coaches tell me we cannot create a Lamar issue for our defense in practice.
And for the life of me, why Detroit didn't get Smith or someone to help out Hutch on the other side, I don't get it. I've watched both games. They have, Hutch isn't getting to the quarterback. They have no pass rush whatsoever.
No, I never liked Davenport. I thought he was not even a 2. You're right about not getting a guy. And then the guy they should have got just went to Philly.
Yep.
And Hutch looks like he's still working his way through it. You know what's not is missing in him is no twitch. He was sudden last year before his injury. Right now, he's kind of like lumbering through things, and it'll come back to it for him, but it's not there yet. Yeah. Well, you got a good game. We got a good game at 4:00. We got Denver at the Chargers.
Right. But of course, that's not the nationally televised game because we need to see the Cowboys and the Bears.
Yeah, of course.
Unbelievable.
Is
that is it a CBS 425 this week?
Ours?
Yeah.
405.
Okay, so it's a Fox game. All right. I mean, I can't. You used to be able to tell by what conference it was. Now you don't know anymore.
No, you don't know at all. But we'll be on a 405, so we'll have a heads up on or start up on those guys. But there's a lot of people that do not like watching the Cowboys anymore, and so I think they convince themselves that there's a huge draw here. There's not.
I don't know about that.
But Bears are a big draw too. I mean, they draw numbers.
That game's going to rate.
It's going to be over at halftime.
Ooh.
Dallas is pretty good, and the Bears are pretty bad. You don't think that quarterback's going to be able to handle it? He's getting exposed for what he is.
Oh, no. This Ben Johnson Caleb thing ain't going to work at all. At all.
Did you see Ben twice this week zinged his football team?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Which
Not
I will
so
say
either.
First he said we don't practice right, and then he said we don't compete on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
That's already lining up to get the GM out.
Well, it's already lining up to fire the coach. We had 3 or 4 of them this week. And I just rip them. I go, I lived in the world you want to be in. We fired coaches like crazy. I couldn't even remember who to send a Christmas card to. Forget it. And you're going to do that, and the next guy's going to fire the quarterback.
Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, which is weekdays 3 to 7, Saturdays 2 to 5. On Sundays, he's part of CBS's NFL Today show. Pat and all our guests join us on the American Paint Supplies Hotline, your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. And Pinchers is a proud sponsor of Pat Kirwan, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. A terrific 4 o'clock slate this week, Pat. The Cowboys and Bears are going to get the headlines and the ratings, but there are 2 other games that are really good. Yours at CBS is Denver at the Chargers. Denver's going to have to pick it up to get to the level the Chargers seem to be at right now, aren't they?
Yeah, and as we said many times on this show, we discounted the Chargers all spring and summer and upgraded the Broncos for reasons unknown to me when it comes to these 2. I mean, we all know the Chargers swept them last year. We all know the Chargers had a better record than them last year. And when I brought it up the last time, David brought up it was their postseason performance that kind of soured people on the Chargers. But did the Broncos do anything in the postseason?
Yeah, but they played Buffalo, whereas the Chargers were favored in Houston and got humiliated. That's what I think happened. Also, I don't think people thought, Pat, that Harbaugh was going to put the ball in Herbert's hands and take the ball away from him and Greg Roman. And so far, Harbaugh has said, you know what? He's the best player. I'm going to let him decide how many games we win.
Yeah, he's getting a run for his money on the best player award because now apparently Derwin James is the greatest safety he's ever seen. So I love Jim. Jim's decided I'm going to put these 2 guys in Canton, Ohio now. I love where the Chargers, what they look like. Now they're going to have Khalil Mack out for a month, right?
At least.
Yeah, and maybe longer at his age. So, but I like the game. It's a statement game, really. Denver, if you want to ride for the race to the top here, you have to win this game. The Chargers not only are undefeated, they've already got a win over the big boys. And so I kind of like the Chargers in this one. Look, I think all of us have watched Jim Harbaugh coach. He is a unique coach who can, when he gets rolling, is crazy. But when he gets rolling, his teams are pretty good. Pete Carroll says to me multiple times, he's the hardest coach I've ever gone against. And I think he's got his team right where he wants them right now.
The one thing the Chargers, and David just said it, they're putting the ball in Herbert's hands. We know Harbaugh likes to run it. Indianapolis, they threw it against Denver last week. They ran it against Denver last week. A lot, one big run, but Taylor's still at almost 100 yards if you take away the big run. Do you think when is the Chargers running game going to maybe start to be more complementary to the passing game? They drafted the kid. He's not done a whole lot. Harris hasn't done a lot. So when do you think that running game starts working for LA?
As soon as, and this is a transition they're in right now, and I think it's a great question for this moment. If you're Denver and watch those two games, are you playing too deep against the passing game, or are you bringing the safety down for the run game? You're playing too deep and playing against the passing game first. So they have done a nice job of setting up the run with the pass, which I always was confused why they didn't do it better than they did. Now they're doing it. The run game is going to come alive because they're just not going to defend the run until the run starts beating people, and the pass is what's beating them. So when you sit in a Tuesday game planning room, there's nobody in that room in Denver raising his hand going, we need to be in cover one. They're going, let's get in cover two or quarters.
Arizona at the Niners, it's looking like Mac Jones. I know Purdy's wanting to play, trying to practice, but if the quarterback's limited on Thursday in practice, I don't think he plays Sunday. So the Niners at home with their injuries against the Cardinals.
Boy, it's set up for the Arizona Cardinals to make a statement game, isn't it, David?
Well,
Do you
and
believe they'll make a statement?
Well, it's funny. You look at matchups in that division. Okay, the Niners own the Rams. They do well with the Seahawks. They've struggled with the Cardinals.
Yeah, Kyler is 4-4 against the 49ers. And those aren't, I think some of those teams weren't as good as this one. I don't know if this is a good team, but they're playing okay. It's still Kyler gets sacked too much. For a guy as quick as him, to me, his sacks come from decision-making. He's too athletic to be sacked this many times, but he's not the first guy who's really fast to be sacked because you can paralyze him with coverage, and all of a sudden he's waiting. I really would love to see it. I'm not a fan of Arizona, but I think I said this all spring, why not Arizona in a division that's up in the air? And so they'd have to win this one for me. I can't take them in San Francisco to do it, though. And you're going to be shocked at this. I'm a big fan of Purdy. You know Jim Miller? He thinks Mac Jones is better than Purdy.
All right.
He only played for 15 years at quarterback.
Yeah. And the coach in San Francisco likes Mac Jones a lot as well. Look at these two teams aren't good football teams, but a lot of people will watch. When you see Dallas and Chicago, Ben Johnson's already criticized his team a couple of times this week. When you look at that game and particularly look at Chicago, is it going badly early? Can it be fixed? What are you seeing with the Bears?
Well, we're listening to the head coach who criticized his team two different ways this week. Once he said, we don't know how to practice. And then he said, we don't know how to compete on Sundays. He could not get more insulting of a group of players. What it tells me is he's going to clean house at the end of the year. He's learning who shouldn't be there, which is what a head coach should do to start it off. The veteran head coach like Pete or Mike Vrabel, they already cleaned house. They cleaned house watching tape. This kid, like a lot of young coaches, has got to watch them play first. This is a bad game, but this Dallas mystique, which is a really fabricated after 30 years, people are going to claim they're going to watch the game. I know they're going to watch the game. Is either team going to the playoffs? I don't think so. I do like Dak, and I think Dak is healthy again. They should have no problem beating the Bears.
Okay. I'm high on the Colts. I picked them to make the playoffs.
I love that.
Obviously, coming off a terrific win last week with a little help from the guys in the striped shirts. But this is the type of game that differentiates whether or not you just got off to a good start or whether you're a playoff team. because Tennessee trailed Denver by 1 mid-fourth and had a late third quarter lead against the Rams. They may be 0-2, but they're not awful. Can the Colts go on the road for the first time and win a division game against a team that's a lot tougher than people think?
Yes, they can. And I agree with you about Tennessee. But the most sacked quarterback in the league plays for Tennessee. So he's had his own problems, and he will. I talked to Tyler Warren yesterday. I felt like I was talking to a 30-year-old veteran quarterback who's been to the Pro Bowl 5 times. He is a real weapon. And because you got that quarterback, you have really an opportunity to make this guy a 90-catch rookie. I like the Colts.
One more game I want to get to you with is the Commanders and Raiders. With no Daniels and Mariota starting, how much of a shot do you give Pete Carroll and his team?
Pete's still got to figure out how to run the ball. Genti hasn't done much yet. Mariota, when you look at all the backups that have to start this week, I think that's the safest one. They know that they don't have to change their offense. They don't have to modify anything, and they don't have to take things out of the offense. Dan Quinn was and I talked to both head coaches as always. Quinzo, he knows that Mariota can function and they can still run everything they want to do. He's not going to run as well as Daniels, but he can run. I think it's a problem for the Raiders coming to the East. How about that? Washington had 10 days to get ready for this, and what's Pete got, 5 days?
All right, 10 seconds. Gut feeling, Ravens, Lions?
Ravens.
He's Pat Kirwan.
Jared Goff, 29 points in 3 games against Baltimore. That's not enough.
No, it's not. And Lamar against the NFC, 24-2. He's Pat Kirwan. NFL Radio's moving the chain. CBS's NFL Today show. Joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers. Pat and all our guests join us on the American Paint Supplies hotline. Gary Ferman to talk the Canes next. So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tec. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tec. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
College games here, pro games at 9. Is that what we want to do?
We have Gary Ferman here.
Oh, Gary Ferman, then pro games at 9. Okay. Sorry. All set.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton will begin the bonus hour with our NFL picks straight up for the week. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. 2 poll questions. Which retread do you want to replace Mike McDaniel when he gets fired? Gruden, Belichick, or Mike McCarthy? We also give you a chance to go, no, none of them. And who you liking? Canes laying the points, Gators taking the points. The big showdown tomorrow night in Miami. Gary Ferman covers the Canes. He is CaneSport, canesport.com. You can follow CaneSport on X at CaneSport. Gary, it's David and Mark. Thanks for joining us again. How are you?
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Well, doing great. Loving how the Canes have looked so far. I mean, looking like maybe this is the best team in 20 years, but I'll try to pump the brakes. What, though, has surprised you that has come together as quickly as it has, or did you expect this?
I would say the defense, because, we knew they had some decent skill players on offense, but they did this affected the offense too, but they did a phenomenal job of working the transfer portal this year, hitting at a rate that, not many teams can, that certainly they didn't the first few years. And they were able to add an enormous number of players to the equation here that are impacting the game on Saturday to levels that, we started to see it in fall camp, those of us that got to see a little of the fall camp, but I don't think the general public had the chance to really see the rapid forward progress that Miami was able to make just by picking the right players in the transfer portal, bringing them into a culture which is as good as you could ever imagine in today's college football, and then having it translate with quality coaching to game day. So far, so good for Miami, but, we're only a few games into the season here. So, we saw last year how things could get unraveled really quick. They had a generational quarterback in the program, ended up losing a few games that you probably wouldn't have thought they would lose to Georgia Tech and to Syracuse. And before you knew it, they're out of the ACC championship game and out of the college football playoffs. So I think you got to approach these things one week at a time. You can't get ahead of yourself, all carried away, start shouting the U is back and all these things. I don't think they will. I think they will enjoy the attention they're getting, enormous attention by College Game Day coming to town this weekend, the primetime showcase on ABC tomorrow night. You'll enjoy all that, and hopefully you'll go out and represent yourselves well with a quality performance, but way too early in the game to start thinking, big picture, I think, and is this the best Miami team in 20 years? Those kind of things. That has to be proven over a longer period of time.
I'm like you, though, Gary. The defense, and I think everybody has impressed so far, and particularly the run defense. Up front, they were supposed to be better last year, and they weren't. And teams were able to run the ball on them. Right now, teams are averaging just 75 yards a game running the ball. Notre Dame was supposed to be an elite running team. They didn't have a lot of success against the Canes. Florida, they don't run it well, and to me, they have to win. This has been a great, not a good, but a great part of the Miami defense.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of managing what might be the biggest weakness on the team right now, which is defensive tackle. And so they've got a couple big guys in Moulton and Blay that are holding down the middle pretty well on the early downs. And then when the team gets into more passing situations, they're bringing in a couple really good young kids that are developing as pass rushers, and Armando Blunt and Marquise Lightfoot. And those guys are really doing a good job to supplement Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor. And the sum of all these parts, they got another couple other depth guys too, but the sum of these parts is proving to be very adequate because they're getting the performance on first down from the guys that were perceived to be a weakness. And that's been huge for Miami on defense.
Obviously, we're not going to go crazy about Carson Beck because, well, Miami's had about 8 great quarterbacks over the years and a handful almost of Heisman Trophy winners, including one just last year. But what have you seen from Beck so far that you didn't know that he had?
I knew that he had everything he's showing. I thought that with the group of personnel that they are going to give him here and are giving him here with a very, very strong offensive line, which is huge for him. His, like any quarterback, his efficiency, his accuracy, everything goes a little bit astray when he's under pressure in the pocket. But in most cases here, he's not going to be under pressure in the pocket. And he's able to use his impeccable football smarts and IQ that has been built through the years. He's, pretty well coached at Georgia, all those years coming up. And he understands the game, and he understands defenses, and he has fit like a glove into the Shannon Dawson offense. And it's allowing him to perform at a level probably as high as any quarterback in the country, really. I mean, he's completing 80% of his passes. He had a couple interceptions last game, which was a little bit of a step back for him. But, for the most part, he delivers the ball on the money. His ball placement is phenomenal, as good as I've seen at the college level. And his arm is certainly adequate. He has all the tools that you need to be a really good college quarterback if you're in a system that allows you to do that, and you're surrounded by the quality of skill players that he is. So great move by Carson Beck to come to Miami. I think it's going to be phenomenal for his career and its future. And he just now has to continue it, because in college football today, you don't get mulligans, man. It's like you could drop a game in the NFL and move on to next week. You'll be fine. In college football, you don't get mulligans, and he's just got to be good every week. That's the way it is.
Part of the reason that he's been good to me, and all the things you said, I agree with wholeheartedly, Gary, but Mark Fletcher's done a hell of a job in the backfield. And man, when you can run the football, that helps. But this Gators defense has been really good. I mean, the Gator offense has been bad. Their defense held LSU to 10 first downs. USF ended up with less than 20 points. So when you look at Fletcher in the running game, how important is that Saturday night?
Oh, it's everything. But the thing that people don't really realize is the guy that's been out injured, Jordan Lyle, is probably a better running back than Mark Fletcher. And so you're not even seeing the Miami running attack at full strength yet. Lyle's supposed to be back for the Florida game. He's a kid that can go the distance anytime he touches the ball. And, many people in the Miami program think that he can develop over the next year or two to be as good as like the lineup of great Miami running backs through the years, the Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Edgerrin James group that, obviously, were at the top of college football when they played. They have these types of expectations for Jordan Lyle. He just hasn't been healthy. So, we'll see what happens there. But yes, the running game for Miami, massive. It keeps defenses on balance, and that just opens up things for Carson Beck in the passing game. And then you're seeing several receivers with, coming into the season, the receiver position was a huge question mark for Miami. And these guys are answering the bell. Malachi Tony, a true freshman, he should be in high school right now. It should be a high school senior. He reclassified, came in early. He's playing at a third or fourth year guy, All-American, really, like type of level. Like that's what you're getting from him. He catches everything. He runs great routes. You can scheme things up for him on third down. CJ Daniels, he went to LSU last year from Liberty, expecting great things. It didn't happen. He comes to Miami, and now he's scoring touchdowns. He didn't have a single touchdown a year ago at LSU. Now he's scoring touchdowns. He's making highlight catches. He's getting on SportsCenter, top 10 at night, and just very consistent, doing great things. And it goes on from there. There's many other guys that have stepped up. Keelan Marion from BYU, he was supposed to just be a kick returner, okay? And he's like, the hell with that. I came here to be a complete receiver. He worked really hard in the offseason, and he's very consistent and doing a great job at receiver. So there's really no holes right now and no deficiencies that you can clearly see in this Miami team. But again, I caution, it's a long season, and you have to be able to sustain it over 4 or 5 months, and we'll see if this group can do that.
Gary Ferman, CaneSport, canesport.com. Follow him and the site at CaneSport on X. Gary, final question for me. You've been around long enough you know the coach speak, and you know the 6 seconds of truth that you might get from Coach Cristobal in a 10-minute media session. What is he legitimately harping on or focusing on, if anything, or right now has it just been such smooth sailing that you're getting nothing but coach speak?
No, I see a guy that is extremely focused, that is, trying not to get caught up in any outside noise, doesn't really want to have a lot of conversations with anybody. He just wants to use his experience and his wisdom to guide this group of guys to reach their maximum potential. He made a statement a week or two ago when somebody asked him about this team, and he said, "This team is limitless." And I think that spoke everything. I mean, and it is limitless. There are 3 games into a season, and every weakness is not showing up as a weakness. The strengths are showing up as stronger strengths than anybody imagined. It's an incredibly together football team. Their culture is really like as good as it gets. Anybody that goes out to practice sees how dialed in these kids are and these coaches are in turning the page each week. When that game's over on Saturday night, they turn the page to the next week very, very well. And I think Cristobal is just trying to be the greatest asset that he can be to this entire locomotive that they have created over the spring and summer. And so far, he's doing a great job. And he understands what I said earlier in this segment, in that what you do weeks 1, 2, and 3 doesn't mean a damn thing when you get to 6 and 7. And, they had that generational quarterback last year that was putting up huge numbers, best offense in Miami history, blah, 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 blah. But when it came down to the big games on the road that they had to win, they didn't do so great. They easily could have gotten beaten at Cal. They lost at Georgia Tech. They lost at Syracuse, and it blew up their entire season. So I would say Mario's very focused on trying to keep that from happening this year. He knows what kind of team he has. He knows the layers of quality that he has, and he's just trying to make sure that they use them the right way, whether everybody agrees with every decision he makes or not. They got some really good players that haven't done a damn thing so far this season, by the way. It's, you look at it from the outside in, you're like, what the heck is going on? Tight end Elijah Lofton, for example. I mentioned Jordan Lyle, who's been hurt. JoJo Trader, the wide receiver, was believed to be the best receiver on the team. And he hasn't, he's other than running a couple fly routes against, in the opener against Notre Dame, he really has not done anything. So there's still a lot more in the tank for Miami here. And, I'm sure we'll start seeing some of it against Florida on Saturday night, and certainly Florida State, 2 very important games in the schedule. But, Cristobal, he understands he understands the plane that he's piloting. And I think he's just very focused, trying to make sure that he does whatever he can do to make sure it maximizes itself and doesn't fall short this year.
Gary Ferman, CaneSport, canesport.com. Follow he and they on X at CaneSport. Gary, good luck tomorrow night. Be a long night for you, and hopefully we can talk again.
Anytime, guys. Always happy to be with you.
Gary Ferman, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton.
Florida's that wounded animal. While everybody's praising the Canes, everybody is kicking the Gators right now. Can the Gators be that animal backed in the corner that comes out and fights?
He mentioned game day is there. Is Kachuk the guest picker?
I believe so. Thought I saw that last night.
Boy, that's good exposure for the NHL.
It's really good exposure.
Yeah. Matthew Kachuk. And not only that, he's a guy who's injured. It's not going to play for 3 months. So good for he and they. I'll bet he'll be very entertaining. I'll bet him and McAfee will cut it up.
Absolutely. But think about all of the people that they could select to be on this. This is the U, after all. There's some history there.
Yes. And Michael Irvin doesn't say no to requests. Okay, so yeah.
Well, certainly not national requests. Miller and Moulton, the bonus hours next. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
So I
sound.
asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
Shoeless Joe Sports Cafe, your home for all the football and baseball that September provides, plus a nightly food special. Got bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays, live music Fridays, karaoke Saturdays. Never mind the fact that Shoeless Joe's is going to celebrate Grandparents' Day, National Hot Dog Day, National Cheeseburger Day, all in the month of September. Food and drink specials during every NFL game. Shoeless Joe's, the official home for Ohio State football. Shoeless Joe's, good food, good times, good sports in the Doubletree by Hilton. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Time's your tea time.
10:18.
Oh my goodness. It's about 6 warm-up swings and
Literally, I had to press my mother into duty instead, because it takes me another 3 minutes to drive to my mom's house instead of the clubhouse, and then about 3 minutes back in the cart. I'm like, Mom, can you meet me at the clubhouse with my cart and my golf shoes and take my car back to your house and put a couple beers in the cooler?
Thanks, Mom.
Got the socks in my pocket. Got the visor in the car. I'm ready to go.
Okay. Hopefully you'll be the last one to tee off in the group, so that'll earn you a couple more minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the bonus hour of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Broadcasting live, the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters taking the act on the road. We'll be in Baltimore Monday and Tuesday. That might be a Monday Night Football game people who don't normally watch will actually watch. I mean, Lions, Ravens.
Let's hope it's a good game. I'm not being a jerk. The last time these two teams played, Baltimore wiped the floor with Detroit.
That was a couple of years ago, too. And that was the year when they both made it to the conference championship game, and Baltimore lost at home to the Chiefs, and Detroit lost at Frisco. So I think both teams, don't you feel like they're in the same boat, Super Bowl or bust? I'm not saying win it. I mean, I think Detroit can get to it since they've never done it before. But I just think that there are 4 or 5 teams that have to get to the Super Bowl or the season is not successful.
I would agree with that. I just don't have those same expectations for Detroit because I think the defense is a mess.
Okay.
And put it this way, we'll get to it. Let's do the NFL games, but I probably should have laid the points with the Ravens.
Well, you can on Monday.
All right, let's pick some NFL games. Indianapolis at Tennessee. You were asking Pat, can Indianapolis do it on the road? Do you believe in Danny Dimes, David?
Because of Tyler Warren, yes. I said in July and August, Tyler Warren is going to make Daniel Jones a competent, consistent NFL quarterback. And I know people are tired of me saying this. They went 17-17 the last 2 years with below average quarterback play. And I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be really good. I just think he's going to be above average, and he's not going to turn the ball over. And that will lead them to a playoff berth. But, Mark, I am concerned about this game. It's why I stayed away from it from a point spread standpoint. I think they win it late with another kick, to be honest with you. I think this will be a tough game, but I'll take the Colts.
I like the Colts at the line of scrimmage. And the fact that Cam Ward's getting sacked so much, I think that's going to be enough for the Colts. I'll take the Colts on the road. Pittsburgh at New England. We both took Pittsburgh and laid the 1.5. So we're obviously both taking the Steelers in that one. Jets at Tampa Bay. Do you give the Jets a shot? Obviously, we know how banged up the Tampa Bay line is. Ibuka may or may not play. Godwin's obviously already out. But I think Tampa runs the ball well enough, even against what's a good Jet defense. I'll take Baker and the Bucks.
I took the Jets in the points. I think they're a live dog. First off, the Bucks the last 4 years have started 2-0 every year. They've not gotten a 3-0. Secondly, the Jets match up against a banged-up Bucks team pretty well. I actually think for this week, Tyrod Taylor gives them a better chance to win against the Bulls blitz. I'd rather have Tyrod Taylor than Fields. I know Fields can run, but Taylor will make the right decisions. I do think the Jets are a live dog. I think the Bucs ground game wins it close.
Pat poo-pooed me when I said this. I don't know if I trust him. Vegas at Washington. Marcus Mariota getting the start. I've not liked what I've seen out of the Commanders through a couple of games. Now they go to their backup. But Vegas is really struggling offensively. Reluctantly, I'm going to trust Pat Kirwan and take Washington.
I don't think Mariota can play anymore. I thought he was shot in Atlanta, and that was a couple years ago. I mean, Washington's a better team, but also Geno Smith coming off a horrendous game. And Mark, I like teams that lose on Monday night. Okay, the urgency is there. I'm going to shock you and take Vegas.
Well, and remember, Pete Carroll as good as any coach in the league when it's coming from the West Coast to the East Coast. So that not a factor to me for Vegas the way it is for other teams. I don't think it's a bad pick at all. The featured 1 o'clock game of the day is the Rams at Philadelphia. How do you see it, David?
It's stupid to pick against the Eagles, isn't it?
Yes.
And the Rams have offensive line issues up the middle, and the Eagles' strength defensively is up the middle. But the Rams should have beat them in the playoff game last year, to be honest with you. I'm going to take a flyer. The Eagles have the Rams and the Bucs the next 2 weeks. I don't think they win them both. Give me the Rams.
Ooh, that's a great point that you make because that's a great 2-game stretch for the Eagles. But Philadelphia at home, I'm taking the Eagles until proven otherwise. Atlanta at Carolina. Carolina had a nice little comeback against Arizona last week. Too late to get it done. They covered, which broke your heart, David. I'm going to take Atlanta on the road reluctantly.
Yeah, I'm not putting a lot of weight into the backdoor cover by the Panthers. I mean, unless it took them 7 quarters to finally get on track this year. I'm taking Atlanta. Atlanta's defense has impressed in terms of how awful they were last year. They're decent this year.
Cincinnati at Minnesota. I'm going to take the Bengals in the game of the backup quarterbacks. The Vikings are banged up not just at quarterback, they're banged up at running back. I think Cincinnati's the better team. Give me the Bengals.
I think he's a starter in this league. I think he's one of the 32 best quarterbacks. He may be in the bottom 10, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking Jake Browning.
Houston at Jacksonville. I didn't have the guts to bet it, but Houston's limited offensively. They'll pressure Trevor Lawrence. It's obvious. But Trevor Lawrence plays better than he does last week when he threw the 2 picks. Maybe just 1 interception, a little cleaner game, and I don't like Houston's offense. Give me the Jags.
There's no reason to pick the Texans in this game except the Jags don't win these games. And if I'm picking the Raiders coming off a Monday night loss, don't I have to also take the Texans? Give me Houston.
Any shot for the Browns at home against the Packers?
Unless Green Bay just mails it in, no.
That's what I thought. We'll both take Green Bay. The best game at the 4 o'clock slate, Denver against the Chargers. This is a tough one. I like where the Chargers are right now, but Denver, after losing last week and all the talk of Bo Nix and Sean Payton not getting along, that's rubbish. I think Denver wins. Give me the Broncos.
I'll take the Chargers. They got the better quarterback. Denver supposed to have the better defense. They didn't show it last week. I'll take the Chargers. Also, Dicker the kicker could be the difference.
Dicker the kicker, first mention of him today on the show. New Orleans at Seattle. You're not picking the Saints, right? I don't want to spend any time.
No, and in fact, I kicked myself afterwards. I know we don't like to lay more than 7 points in the NFL, but come on. Seattle should whack New Orleans, shouldn't they?
Yes. Arizona's at San Francisco. I don't care if it's Purdy or Mac Jones. Arizona hasn't beaten anybody yet. It's Carolina and New Orleans. Give me San Francisco at home.
I do think it'll be Mac Jones. Kyler Murray does pretty well against San Francisco. He does. Ah, man. Give me Arizona.
Oh, look at that. Dallas at Chicago. If I'm not mistaken, you took Chicago in your picks. Now, I think it was just 1.5, so I'm guessing you're taking them straight up. I know Ben Johnson's trying to take his little shots and see how that works. I know the defense wasn't very good against the Giants, but Dak played well. The offense is playing much better than expected to me. Give me the Cowboys.
Didn't play well against the Giants. They were humiliated by the Giants. I think there's points and yards to be had so that Caleb and Ben can coexist for another week. Give me the Bears.
By the way, the quarterback for the Giants is better than the quarterback for the Bears. Kansas City at the Giants. I know you took the Giants in the points. Do you think they win outright?
No, but I think it's very much – I really believe that – I mean, the problem with the Giants is their secondary is horrible, but Kansas City doesn't have the wide receivers to expose it. I think the Giants' pass rush is going to make an impact here. I don't know that the Chiefs can score, Mark, enough points to really take care of a team these days. It's why I think the Giants hang around. And they showed last week they have some weaponry. I think the Chiefs win Mahomes' final drive, but I think this comes down to a kick. Give me the Chiefs by 3 or less.
And Monday night, we'll break it down more when David is in Baltimore, but it's Lamar against the NFC. The record's very good. It doesn't change on Monday night. I'll take the Ravens.
I'll take the Ravens also. The record, by the way, if you don't know, Lamar is 24-2 against the NFC. Yeah, that's not a 2-year thing. That's a trend.
Yeah, that's a career is what that is. All right, David, thus far, picking NFL winners is one up on me straight up through 2 weeks. We differ on Vegas and Washington. We differ on the Rams and Philly. We differ on Houston and Jacksonville. We differ on Denver and the Chargers, Arizona, San Francisco, Dallas, and Chicago. So 6 games head-to-head between Miller and Moulton. We'll see what happens with our NFL picks. There you have it with what's going on Sunday and into Monday. When we come back, we'll look at the big college games of the week. We picked a few of these games against the number. We'll try to get to a little more detail about those games on the other side. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com. Couple of poll questions up on X about who you want as a retread Dolphins coach and who you taking, Gators or Canes, and the points.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
So I asked him at Floor Meisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floor Meisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floor Meisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floor Meisters, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I know you are not a jersey guy so much, David, and I don't mean the state of, I mean sweaters and things of that nature.
Right.
Did you see the Rangers Centennial sweater?
The patch.
No. That's a different jersey. It's like a lighter blue. It's basically the blue with the Rangers, going across, but it's a lighter blue. It's pretty sharp. The Red Wings I like a lot.
The now is this special because it's the 100th year, or is this
Correct.
a new?
Yeah, no, it's the Centennial jersey.
I saw that Messier's company is the official patch on the Rangers jersey. It's the first time they've ever had a sponsor full time on their jersey.
No, it's a lighter blue. It's I like it. It's sharp. Love the Red Wings one.
What did they do?
It's just a different couple stripes, it's slightly different, still the winged wheel, but it's just a cool look.
They alter the red at all, or?
I think you could argue maybe it's a little deeper.
Okay. Hmm. I don't know if I like it. Yeah, it looks cherrier, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like the wings a lot. I think it's sharp.
Yeah, I do too.
It's
I
not
like
my thing, but
I like it better than the Giant Rangers.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. We begin to head for home on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Miller and Moulton, MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Our 2 poll questions. So, which retread coach do you want the Dolphins to choose when they fire Mike McDaniel, Gruden, Belichick, or Mike McCarthy? We do give you a no option. It's D. And going to take the Canes and lay the 9.5. But was I correct when I texted you yesterday? Did that jump 2 points yesterday?
I think so. I never
2.
saw it 8.5. It was 7.5, and all of a sudden it was 9.5.
Yeah. I mean, I was starting to check, like, is Lagway not going to play? I mean, honestly, that's a huge jump in like a moment. It's like, where was the news? I missed it. Napier get fired? What did I miss here? But so anyway, you taking the Canes and laying the 9.5, or you taking the Gators and the points?
By the way, for the record, I took the Gators and the points in my picks. Where are you leaning on this game, David?
That it's too many points, because I do think the Gators lay it all on the line. I just think Miami's better. I mean, I had the Gators beating South Florida and being 2-0 and then losing these 2 games. And then they come out of the bye and I had them beating Texas. And that's where I thought the Gators were going to, take hold.
Texas Tech and Utah is the noon game. It's a monster Big 12 game.
Yes.
We don't know a lot about either. Utah, I like because they don't have all the problems that they've had at quarterback the past couple of years. They didn't know who was playing quarterback. With the kid hurt, is he playing? Is he not playing? So I like the cohesion of the Utes. I think they win at home. I think Texas Tech's a little overrated, David.
Yeah, I think it's a year early for all this Texas Tech hype. I mean, yeah, I know they're hitting the portal hard, but also all this hype, the 5-star tackle, yeah, that's in next year's class. I just think they're a year away from the Big 12 title game.
Sneaky game in Texas. SMU and TCU.
Well, it's more than sneaky. Also, apparently, TCU is not willing to continue the series. All right. And there's bad blood. These schools don't like each other. TCU got added to the Big 12 and SMU didn't. So it's kind of a UCF South Florida thing, only they're closer geographically, much. Okay. Also, Mark, remember a couple years ago, we talked about this? SMU took out billboards specifically pointing their finger at TCU. We're Dallas's team. This was before they went into the ACC, and they beat them. You play for these schools, you don't like the other one.
So that's a sneaky noon game to pay attention to. You took North Carolina and the 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they win outright? Because if they do, Right now, there's not been any hype this year on UCF, but all of a sudden, Belichick coming to town, you're a touchdown plus favorite in the game. Don't you have to win if you're UCF?
Well, not only that, I mean, I don't know how many eyeballs you're going to get, but you're getting the 3:30 Fox window. This ain't a Friday night on FS1. All right. This ain't a Saturday afternoon on FS1. I mean, if people are flipping around, your game's going to be on. So, yeah, this is a big spot for both, because the only other time Belichick was nationally televised, he got boat raced. I don't like North Carolina offensively, Mark. Outside of that first drive of the year, I think they've been a bit of a mess. I do think they cleaned things up defensively the last 2 weeks, but I just don't think they're going to score that extra score to win. It's why I have them covering, but UCF winning.
I would have fun if I was UCF trying to make chants about Belichick's girlfriend and the whole quitting on Dancing with the Stars and all of that that's going on. So I hope the student section brings it in the bounce house on Saturday.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what's the Dancing with the Stars?
I had she was supposed to be on it. Now she's not gonna. She had demands, and now it's just, it would have put it this way. If she was on the show, more people would have watched.
True.
I mean, it's Dancing with the reality TV stars now. Talk about a show that's jumped the shark and then some. I took Oklahoma and laid the points. Do you agree with me, David, or do you give Auburn a better shot than that?
I think both teams are better than I thought they'd be so far. But would it be the game's in Oklahoma, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I know Auburn went to Baylor. I know. And they deserve credit, by the way. They won by 2 scores. It was a good win. I think Auburn's a little overranked. I'll take the Sooners.
We both take Michigan and lay the 1.5. Nebraska has lost 27 straight games against ranked opponents. Will that end on Saturday?
And
Nebraska sure as hell hopes so.
And I'm not rooting for Michigan. And this is not because I have anything against the Wolverines, because I don't. But, I mean, this is my kind of story. I desperately want Nebraska to be what? Nebraska again. I would love for them to win this game. They might rush the field if they win this game. I mean, they know they can't beat anybody good. And Michigan is still Michigan, even though this might be an 8-4 Michigan team. I think this would be huge.
When Michigan wins this game, that 8-4 is the most laughable thing I've ever heard. Go look at their schedule the rest of the way. Michigan wins this game. I'm telling you right now, they're Big Ten 4, and they might sneak their hind end in the playoff.
I think the game that determines Big Ten 4, Michigan at USC.
Speaking of which, and they play my Spartans. The Spartans aren't good, but the quarterbacks played better. You watched USC. Is their defense vulnerable? I didn't see a second of that game. Hell, I think it just ended. So when you saw USC, how vulnerable are they defensively? Because Sparty can't stop anybody. They couldn't stop Youngstown State. So I know USC will score. Can USC stop Sparty from scoring?
Yeah, USC up front is good. And USC is better in the secondary. I mean, Purdue moved the ball. They did. That quarterback ran around. He was strong-armed. He made some plays. Mark, USC didn't punt against Purdue. I don't know how much better defensively Michigan State is than Purdue. USC didn't punt last week.
Yeah, I see a lot of points in that game. David you took Illinois, right, in the points?
I did.
Illinois and Indiana, 6.5. I'm stunned by this number. It does tell you, by the way, what Vegas thinks of AP rankings. Illinois, 9th in the country. Indiana, 19th. Indiana's a touchdown favorite.
I know Illinois got some injuries, but there was nobody, and I mean nobody, all off season who thought that Indiana was better than Illinois. They thought Illinois at the beginning of the season was the better team. I'm trying to figure out what has taken place so far this year to turn what everyone who covered the Big Ten thought for 7 months around.
The only thing that I would say, David, is that Bielema's style is to be a rough, tough football team at the line of scrimmage. Indiana doesn't play that way. They spread you out. Can Illinois defensively, speed-wise, keep up with Indiana?
We'll see. It should be a terrific game. I'd be very surprised if it's not a one-score game either way.
So there are some of the college games going on. If we missed yours, I apologize. Iowa and Rutgers tonight, David, by the way. You're fighting Rutgers there.
Yes, my Scarlet Knights on Big Fox with Timmy B. Come on. Iowa will win. It'll be ugly. They will or won't cover by a point. It's Hawkeyes football. So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters. Floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
She is something, isn't she, Deadstroke? Is there ever a time she's not on top? Did I say that out loud?
Oh, yeah.
That's almost mean, OC. It's almost mean. And I think we all know the answer to that. Maybe when he was like 9. And that was even more mean because he doesn't have his headsets on to defend himself. I got to quit.
Did Mark tell you the story, Deadstroke, while I was gone? So I was in the market coming up on 1 year in Southwest Florida. I'm doing the sports on ABC7. And I was the main guy. And Chad Sokol, good-looking young guy, was our weekend sports guy. And we were in Tallahassee. We did an hour preview show live from 7 to 8 leading into ABC's Florida State game in 2000. And it was so funny quickly because we had hotel rooms reserved long in advance. And remember, there was a little something going on in Tallahassee in late November of 2000. This whole disputed election. And so literally we were being offered bribes by news media from networks so they could have our hotel rooms. And we're like, no, because then we have no place to stay. And I mean, we were offered big money. And so they had to leave for 2 days, our 2 rooms. Anyway, like I said, he was good looking, young. I was 35. I wasn't gray yet, but I looked my age. So anyway, I'm doing Stan and Haney on the Monday after the game. And they said, man, he looks young. I'm like, yeah. And they said, it looked like Father Sunday. So they called him the kid and they called me Pops. And it stuck for a while. I did their show for like 6 years. Then I got tired of them. So that's why I was Pops.
I didn't know that either. If you've told the story, I probably just zoned out.
Just, I was just impressed that somebody was watching ABC7.
And now they're doing well.
Well, they were.
I don't pay any. That you know what? I shouldn't even say. I have no idea.
I know they were doing well 2-3 years ago when they had Butera and what's her face, and they had been a team for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know what their ratings are since Irma. My guess is they did well immediately after Irma because Wink was down. Yeah. Well, Rose, it's true. You've always looked older than you were. And so have I. Yep.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
Last segment of the day, last segment of the week. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Have yourself a great weekend. Miller and Moulton think it's a sneaky college football Saturday. What was the week that, not week 2, you thought last week was going to be like, well, no, last week had the big SEC thing.
Yeah, I thought last week was going to be great, and it delivered. I mean, it delivered from noon until midnight. Clemson, Georgia Tech was amazing. Georgia and Tennessee was amazing. Notre Dame and A&M was amazing. I mean, that is this back to back to back. That was ridiculous. This is a little more sneaky. Yes. We'll need Illinois and Indiana to deliver. We'll need Miami and Florida to deliver.
Right.
And there are some big numbers in these games from a spread standpoint. So, we're going to need some underdogs to raise their level of play a little bit.
Will one of the Big 12 games on Fox deliver? They're all in on the Big 12 tomorrow. Don't know how many of you are going to watch, but it's a big opportunity for the Big 12 to get some attention.
And if they deliver, will you pay attention? That's really the other question.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Quick little trivia to start out. Today was the day when. Today in 1893, a country was the first to grant all women the right to vote. I'll give you a second or two. David, care to guess which country in 1893 becomes the first country to allow women the right to vote?
Canada.
New Zealand. Nice guess. The Adventures of Superman TV series with George Reeves premiered today in 1952. Denny McClain gets win 31 today in 1968. The Mary Tyler Moore Show premiered today in 1970 on CBS. Ordinary People, directed by Robert Redford, was the best picture of 1981, premiered today in 1980.
Can I just stop for a second? I'm sorry, I was a split second slow. Go back to Mary Tyler Moore. I mean, I don't know what character or scene or what have you. You got to be obviously of a certain age. But when she's in the office and Ed Asner goes, "You've got spunk," she's like, "Yeah." And he goes,
Got a little
"That's
smile
nice.
on her face.
Hate spunk."
Great show. Great show. Captain Steubing, I can't think of what his name is an actor.
Gavin McLeod.
It was a great
Yes.
supporting act. The writing for him, he got to be sneaky funny. He was great.
Yes, it was like they saved the best line, the deadpan best line of the show. They gave it to him every week.
Right, because you had Ted Knight being, Ted Knight, and
Right.
obviously Lou Grant being strong, and Mary Tyler Moore being the funny, cute one. But Gavin McLeod
Yep.
had great lines in that show. 1981, largely because of this thing called MTV. The Rolling Stones' Tattoo You goes #1 in America. It had the single Start Me Up. That got a lot of airplay on MTV. It was their last #1 album in the U.S. That idiot, Tipper Gore, in 1985, was somehow able to get the Senate to hold hearings on labeling records to warn of explicit lyrics. The PMRC, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, John Denver, and Frank Zappa all spoke in opposition. Bon Jovi released New Jersey today in 88. It had the most top 10 hits of any rock, glam, metal album. It had 5. Today in 1989, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 1814 was released, and Doogie Howser, MD, debuted on ABC. 1990, Goodfellas premieres. Was that any good?
Oh my goodness. Come on. Tell me, the minute you see it, you don't stop, and it doesn't matter where it is in the movie. Tell me you don't stop everything that you're doing and you're like, "Oh well, I guess the next couple hours I know what I'll be doing."
I was in college. My roommate and I went to see the movie, and I don't think we could get a pack of cigarettes fast enough after. Today, also in 1990, Eddie Vedder was selected to be the lead vocalist of a band that was originally named Mookie Blaylock. Thank goodness they changed their name to Pearl Jam. JFK in Philly was demolished today in 92. It was built in 1926. It hosted the 26 Toonie Dempsey fight, 41 Army-Navy football games, the Beatles, the Stones, and the U.S. portion of Live Aid.
Yes, it did. And let me tell you, it shouldn't have. Okay, that thing was not stable.
ER premiered today in 1994. Jerry Rice's streak of 274 consecutive games with the catch ended today as the Raiders beat the Bills. How I Met Your Mother premiered in 2005, and Shohei Ohtani was the first ever 50-50 guy as he hit 3 home runs when the Angels beat the Marlins 20-4.
Had another 50 home run season this year. I mean, it's remarkable stuff he's doing.
Duke Snider, Adam West from Batman, Brian Epstein, the manager of the Beatles,
Al Order, discus gold medalist 3 times or 4 times, David?
4.
4. Mama Cass and Joe Morgan would have all celebrated birthdays today. Bill Medley from the Righteous Brothers and Paul Williams are both 85. Nile Rodgers, guitarist from Chic and did a lot of big stuff, he's 73. Bob Papa is 61, so is Trisha Yearwood. Jim Abbott is 58, Jimmy Fallon 51, and Trey Young is 27 years old today. What did I miss, David?
Did you have the nuclear explosion?
I did not.
Today in 57 in Nevada, we detonated the first nuclear weapon underground. The test is known as Rainier.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Well, we go to the links for the good today and do it right here in Fort Myers at the Plantation Golf Club, where Mark Hansen had his first ever hole-in-one. It was on the 14th hole. Must have been playing the forward tees because it was only 85 yards. And it was in a scramble. He made a comment to one of his playing partners because they had stuck one deep, about 4 inches, a foot from the hole. He said, I'm not going to hit. It's a scramble. We got our birdie. His playing partner says, hit it. You might get a hole-in-one. Guess what? He got a hole-in-one. And it's a shotgun start, so as they were working their way around, they came to the 9th hole, a 145-yard par 3. And I'll be damned, he did it again. 2 holes in 1 in the same round. The odds of that are 67 million to 1.
Unreal.
For the bad, we'll stick in Fort Myers, North Fort Myers, where a person was arrested and one other detained after they ran from a traffic stop on I-75. FHP reported that multiple people were accused of running away from a traffic stop on the interstate. But the State Highway Patrol was able to arrest one person and detain one other. Trooper said he was going 96 miles an hour on I-75. He now faces charges of resisting arrest with violence and operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. And finally, the ugly. We go to New Jersey, where they may melt in your mouth, not in your hands, but they were all over the highway because a collision between 2 tractor trailers in Jersey resulted when bags and boxes of M&Ms littered the highway. In Moulton Township, a tractor trailer on I-80 rear-ended another tractor trailer that was on the shoulder. Fortunately, neither driver was injured, but M&Ms were all over the highway, and the road was shut down for 2 hours while the candy was cleared from the scene. And that, David, is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, Friday, September 19th, here on Miller and Moulton.
There are 2 college football games tonight. We've talked about one of them, Rutgers and Iowa. Rutgers hosting Iowa. Iowa 2.5-point favorite, 8 o'clock on Big Fox. Meanwhile, the 4-letter network has got Oklahoma State. I don't think they've played since Oregon beat them 69-3 or whatever it was.
Whatever that was.
Yeah.
The beginning of the end of Gundy's career at Oklahoma State.
Well, he's got Tulsa at home tonight, and he's 11.5-point favorite, 7:30 on the 4-letter network. 9 o'clock on the Deuce, deciding game of the Liberty Phoenix WNBA series. New York on the road, yet they're the defending league champion, facing elimination tonight. All right, baseball. A lot of series. I don't know. I mean, the marquee one is clearly Seattle and Houston. They're tied with 9 to play, and the season series is tied at 5. So if one team takes 2 out of 3 here, they'll lead by a game with a week to play, but they'll also own the series tiebreaker. So huge series. Giants and Dodgers. Remember, Mark, a week or so ago when the Giants had closed within a half a game in the Mets, and I said, yeah, they got 7 games against the Dodgers the final 2 weeks of the year. Yeah, they're 1-3 so far. Okay, they continue the series tonight in LA. Clayton Kershaw's last home start, at least in the regular season. Curious if they'll start him best of 3 first-round series. Right now they would play the Mets because Yamamoto's going to pitch game 1 and Snell's going to pitch game 2. Would be very interesting to me if it went to game 3, who would the Dodgers send to the hill?
Kershaw's been pitching just fine. I don't know why.
Thank you.
I don't know why you wouldn't go to him, David. He's
right.
Things started not so great, but the second half he's been more than adequate.
Yes. So,
Reds hosting the Cubs.
Mhm.
That's the series you need to pay attention to, David. Reds are at home. Cubs are red hot.
Reds beat them 1-0 last night. Cubs are close to not having much to play for. What are they, 6 behind the Brewers? Milwaukee's magic number's 4, yet the Cubs have like a 5-game lead over San Diego as to who would host the 4-5 series. So the Cubs are kind of in no man's land.
But you don't, in baseball, they don't think that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want to keep the momentum, and we hate that word, but that's what they'll say. Tigers host the Braves. Cleveland is on the road for Minnesota. Even though the Tigers are at home, Cleveland's playing a AAA team. Isn't that edge Guardians, David, for the series?
Well, not only that, Atlanta, I think, has won 5 in a row. They're coming off a 4-game sweep of the Nats. And I believe, Mark, the Tigers are going to see Sale.
So big weekend for Detroit. They can fix their woes by getting 2 or 3, and then all the pressure comes back on the Guardians when they have the series in Cleveland next week.
But second to last weekend of the baseball regular season, most everybody has 9 games left.
Rays hosting the Red Sox. Cleveland is on the heels of Boston as well. So Boston cannot let their foot off the gas.
Boston only a game and a half ahead of the Guardians. That's it.
So some big baseball this weekend in and around your football. If Arizona has any shot, they got to figure out a way to sweep the Phillies if they're going to make a run at the Mets.
NASCAR in New Hampshire. I hate the track. It's a 1-groove track. Maybe now it's 1.5. All right. I think a couple more drivers get eliminated after this race in the playoffs. By the way, Mark, NASCAR, USA Network. This is their playoffs. USA Network at 2:00 Sunday. What the hell is NBC showing?
I have no idea.
Why can't they get Bristol was on USA? Oh, why is NASCAR relegated to USA?
Maybe because no one cares.
Yeah, maybe.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe, your home for all the football and baseball that September provides, plus a nightly food special. Got bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays, live music Fridays, karaoke Saturdays. Never mind the fact that Shoeless Joe's is going to celebrate Grandparents' Day, National Hot Dog Day, National Cheeseburger Day, all in the month of September. Food and drink specials during every NFL game. Shoeless Joe's, the official home for Ohio State football. Shoeless Joe's, good food, good times, good sports in the DoubleTree by Hilton. Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
So I asked him at Floormeisters, hey, what do you want me to tell everyone for September? He says, well, tell them I just bought 100 pallets of Core-Tech. So I've got so much of it, I can keep the prices low. Plus, installation's always available. Delivery's always available. And tell them Floormeisters has colors, 15 of them that no one else has. Floormeisters in Naples, next to Costco, whether it's carpet, tile, or Core-Tech. The best flooring, best service, at the best prices. Floormeisters, floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to